from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Comcast Sportsnet brings you Houston Astros baseball. Today, the Astros wrap up a four-game series against the defending American League champion Detroit Tigers. Good afternoon, everybody. Bill Brown and Alan Ashby, and it's Cinco de Mayo, so a happy day for a lot of folks with the Street Fest leading up to a ball game. The weather is great. And Philip Humber gets a chance to break into the win column today. Ash?
0-6 on the season. It's been a rough go for Philip Humber, but it's a golden chance to get out there, pitch against a very good ball club. He has changed things around, at least in that last start. We'll see if he continues this pattern, but he started throwing the changeup a lot more, had success with it, backed off on the curveball and slider a bit. Philip Humber probably could utilize that changeup well, like he did against the Yankees. In that last start, Philip Humber, and again, we mentioned the Yankees, had some tough luck. There were plays like this that got by Castro, set up a scoring opportunity, and a little bit of a defensive problem behind him at times. But as the night wore on, he got better and better. And I think when it was all said and done, Philip Humber and Bo Porter and staff felt a lot better about things with Philip Humber.
Now for the Astros hitters. They are facing Justin Verlander. He is as good as it gets right now, and that's a challenge.
Boy, is it ever. He may have the best overall stuff in Major League Baseball, and he can extend it for 9 innings better than anybody maybe I've ever seen. Just a tremendous fastball, the changeup unhittable at times, curveball, slider to go with it. I watched him a couple of years ago in a no-hitter take his fastball, which was about 94 miles an hour through the first half of the game, turn it up to 100 plus. His stuff will increase throughout the night on a standard basis. This is one of the rare guys that can do that. And again, 100 miles an hour is not out of the realm of possibility with Justin Verlander.
First place Tigers are going for a sweep of this four-game road series. They haven't done that in years. Jose Altuve is playing like an all-star in front of the American League All-Star manager, Jim Leland, in this series. He'll get his first day off today. Julia Morales has more in just a moment.
Series finale between the Tigers and the Astros. The Astros trying to grab their very first win here on this homestand, and in these few tough losses, a bright spot has been Jose Altuve. In the month of April, he set a franchise record for hits, and in May, not much different. Doesn't matter what's going around this guy. He continues to produce, and it's impressed his teammates. Example last night, bottom 4. Altuve sends one deep to left here, but not far enough left there. Just misses a home run by a foot. Tough luck there. He was upset about it. Later in the 6th, Miguel Cabrera with a nice stop, robbing Altuve of a single. And then in the bottom of the 9th, this guy continuing to fight. Doesn't matter, like I said, doesn't matter what's going on. He put a good swing on that one. Doubles. He keeps the game alive, and then he eventually scores off Jason Castro's single. Hector Embry said it today. This guy is a machine. But eventually the machine needs a day off, and that's what he's getting today. Bo Porter taking him out of the lineup, his first day off this season. Also, the Astros have the day off tomorrow, so that's 2 full days for Altuve to get rested and ready for the Angels when they come into town on Tuesday. All right, coming up, Philip Humber facing Justin Verlander in the series finale between the Tigers and the Astros. Lineups and first pitch coming up.
Some of the Astros outside talking with the fans as a part of the big Cinco de Mayo Street Festival here in the downtown Houston area. This is a rarity for the Tigers. They have not swept a 4-game series on the road since May of '06. The Astros trying to snap a 5-game losing streak, and it would be sweet for them if they could get this one with Verlander on the mound with his outstanding ERA of 1.83. Philip Humber is just about to warm up. Jason Castro, his battery made for this game. Meanwhile, off to the side, the umpiring crew is exchanging lineup cards with representatives of both ball clubs. And these two teams will meet on the next road trip as you and Jeff Blum will go to Detroit with the Astros. Ash, we have Tim Welke, Mike Everett, Marty Foster, and Scott Berry on this crew.
Well, let's hope things have warmed up in that part of the country at this time of the year, and maybe the rains will have ceased and we can enjoy a nice, pleasant, weather-wise road trip, and hopefully the ball club can get some winning ways going.
It's the Astros hitting coach John Maley down there with their card, and Rafael Belliard, the first base coach of the Tigers, with this starting lineup for Detroit. Austin Jackson center field, Andy Dirks left field, Torrid Miguel Cabrera with a .390 batting average third base, Prince Fielder first base, Victor Martinez designated hitter, Don Kelly right field, Torrey Hunter resting today, Brian Pena catcher, Alex Avila resting today, Omar Infante second base, Ramon Santiago shortstop, Johnny Peralta resting today.
Defense for the Astros. It'll be Jason Castro back behind the dish. Around the infield, Carlos Pena at first. Marwin Gonzalez moves over to second base as Ronnie Cedeno gets a start at short, and at third, Brandon Laird. In the outfield, center fielder Robbie Grossman, flanked by Rick Ankiel in right, and Fernando Martinez in left. And we mentioned Philip Humber on the hill, 30 years of age, 0-6 on this rugged start to a season. 7.58 is that rather tough ERA to deal with. He's lost 6 straight starts now. Took a no decision his first time out this year. So it has been a rough go. 44 hits allowed in 29 2/3 innings. There is a lot of work to be done by Philip Humber.
It looked as if he may have turned a corner in that last start, as you mentioned, at New York against Hiroki Kuroda, giving up 4 runs in 6 innings, and coming out of that game with the loss 7-4, but nonetheless he had made some strides since the previous couple of starts. Ash,
I felt there were a couple of moments defensively where there were lapses behind him that hurt him. Otherwise it could have been a better night, but it didn't start right on the money. He kind of pitched into the improved style.
Well, that's off the plate, and Austin Jackson on a 9-game hitting streak looks at ball 1, checking in at .297. He leads the American League in runs scored with 30.
In that game against the Yankees, in 6 innings, 9 hits allowed and 4 earnings.
Fastball's hit in the air. Carlos Pena comes over by the stands and back into the sun-splashed area. That fan wasn't paying much attention. I think he caught that one on the back of the shoulder. Watch out over there. Very bright sunny day. It is a gorgeous day. Temperature ideal for watching a sporting event. 1-1 to Jackson now. Austin, 26 years old. He has 5 hits in this series and 12 at bats. This one toward right field. Rick Ankiel over. There's 1 out for Humber, who will be busy tomorrow as well on the off day. He'll be out at Rice University at Reckling Park, and joining with Coach Wayne Graham there to look at the plaque that was dedicated to Philip Humber after his perfect game last year for the Rice University graduate.
That's awfully nice. It's been a rough go, as we've talked about, since that perfect game, but that's a moment to always remember. Very special.
Andy Dirks with a .200 average has 1 bomb. He's driven in 5. He is 2 for 13 in this series. In tight ball 1, it's Brandon Laird at third today, with Matt Dominguez getting a day off. He's even with the bag at third for Dirks. Dirks is a bunter upon occasion. Swinging away there, he fouls it. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Dirks did put down a bunt in the Friday night game.
Consider the great history of Major League Baseball, and Philip Humber just the 21st pitcher ever to throw a perfect game. There have been 2 since. A rather remarkable feat.
I bet it is. On that occasion, he had a devastating slider at Seattle. 2 balls and a strike. The slider has not been a reliable pitch for him this year, and he has shied away from that in recent games. Fastball fouled away. It's a 2-ball, 2-strike count. There's a huge difference in velocity between these 2 right-handers today. They get the job done in different ways. And a curveball has been problematic for Philip in recent games. We'll see how he does with mixing that in today.
If Philip Humber can find a way to settle things down with the Tigers, it should serve to catapult him toward the year.
Liner into right for a hit for Dirks. Dirks is on with a 1-out single for Cabrera now.
I think this Tigers lineup is just about as tough as you'll see. It's a pitch out over the plate, down around the knees, and still the line drive.
Cabrera is 7 for 13 in this series. He hit 2 homers last night. He drove in 6 runs to tie his career high in a major league game. He leads the majors right now in batting average at .390. And he leads in runs batted in as well with 36, and in hits as well with 41. Make it 46 hits for him. There's strike 1 to Cabrera. And there's a big night last night.
He just hits it all over the lot. If you leave a hole on the right side, he'll hit one through there. If you try to pitch him in, he'll jack one to left field with a kind of a cutoff swing. Leave one out over the plate. Well, he can leave the yard with that one as well. Just the best all-around hitter in Major League Baseball right now.
He rocks this one high to left center field. Headed back, Robbie Grossman. Grossman back to the warning track, and they're leaping at the wall. Grossman hauls it in. And here's Dirks back to first base on a tremendous catch by Robbie Grossman.
Robbie Grossman might want to try to get back a little sooner. You notice at the very end he has to make a leap toward the wall. And that makes the play even more difficult, but a fine play when it's all said and done.
You could see there he had to go from sunlight to shade, and that enhanced the degree of difficulty for that catch.
How effective are those shades up on the hat at that stage of things?
Prince Fielder's the batter. Astros play him to pull. He fouls it back. Strike 1. A .290 hitter with 7 homers, 28 runs batted in. Fielder is 2 for 11 with 1 RBI in this series. Really frustrated by a couple of strike 3 calls in last night's game. And then he was robbed in the 6th inning by a fine Jose Altuve play. So that kept him to 1 hit in the 21-hit Detroit assault last night. Their 17-2 win. Fielder looks at it, and it's a ball for a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Humber, lifetime against Detroit, has won 1 and lost 2 with an ERA of 6.00 in 5 games, 2 as a starter. The Astros are playing Fielder to pull with Cedeno up the middle. It's a 2-ball, 1-strike count for Philip Humber.
There's the changeup we talked about pregame. The fact that he had thrown it more and successfully against the Yankees that last start. I think that's a key pitch for Philip Humber. I think it can be a key pitch for any starter. Doug Brocail would love to see that pitch settle in.
The Astros will wear these Los Astros uniforms only twice this year. This is the first time. Fielder looks at it. That's a ball. It's 3-1 to the man who leads the American League in walks with 24. This Detroit lineup, after banging out that 17-2 win last night, ranks 2nd in the American League in runs scored with 155.
One more.
Humber throws to first, driving Dirks back. Dirks is 3 for 3 in steals. Tigers are 2nd in total bases in the AL for Jim Leyland, and their record is 18-11. They have a half-game lead in the American League Central, which they came from behind to win last year. Leyland is leading all active managers in wins with 1,694. Fly ball, and this is deep to right field. Enkill turning around now at the wall, watching that one go out for a 2-run homer. 2-0 Detroit on Fielder's 8th of the year, giving him 30 runs batted in.
Frustrating moment for Philip Humber. To get through the top part of a ball game, sometimes it can be such a a difficult chore, especially against a lineup like this one the Tigers present. But for Fielder, he didn't get all of this one, just enough.
Powerful swing.
It looked like he hit it pretty good. It gets just out to that first row in right field.
Victor Martinez is the batter. He takes strike one. Martinez on a 3-game hitting streak, has a .221 average. Last night he hit his first home run of the season. He's driven in 14. 4 of those came in last night's game. Strike for Umber. That makes it no balls, 2 strikes with Don Kelly on deck. Home run was the 4th allowed by Umber in just over 30 innings this season. Left-handed hitters have hit .443 against Phillip this year. Curve is fouled away by Martinez. And that can be a strikeout pitch. Usually it needs to be located lower than that. Martinez got a pretty good look at it. He was able to flick the bat to foul it off.
In that challenging 2012 campaign for Phillip Umber, following the perfect game, as we mentioned, things went rough. 23 home runs allowed in just 102 innings last year.
Umber has allowed a .450 slugging percentage against his curveball this season, and that's more damage than has been done by left-handed hitters against him in the last few years. That one's down and in for a ball, 1-2. Phillip, the 3rd player drafted in the 04 draft. The New York Mets selected him, and they traded him to Minnesota in 08. With the Twins for 2 years before moving along to the White Sox, and they claimed him on waivers, as the Astros did last November. Grounded, and the second baseman Marwin Gonzalez gets the flip over to Carlos Pena. That ends the first for Detroit with 2 runs scoring on 2 hits. Fielder goes deep to make it Detroit 2. Houston coming up. Sportsnet is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Wild Turkey, Kentucky Straight Bourbon. Back in downtown Houston, it's 2-0 Tigers as Justin Verlander completes his warm-up tosses before facing this starting lineup for Bo Porter. Robbie Grossman, went to Cy-Fair High School, leads it off in center field. It's Fernando Martinez in left, Jason Castro the catcher, Carlos Pena at first base, the DH is Carlos Corcoran batting fifth. It's Brandon Laird at third base, Rick Ankiel in right field, Ronnie Cedeno at shortstop, Marvin Gonzalez at second base.
Justin Verlander, simply one of the game's best 30-year-old right-hander, just 3-2 on the year despite an outstanding ERA of 1.82, and he's picked up a couple of wins, 2-1 while pitching on the road.
Robbie Grossman on a 6-game hitting streak takes a look at strike one. Entering the day at 205, he has a 327 on base average. And the changeup puts him behind, no balls, 2 strikes.
Turn up that dial for the great fastball, and he brings the changeup. He's got the 4 basic pitches, but they are not basic.
Fouled away by Grossman, who's worked some nice counts, and he's walked in 3 straight games now, together with that 6-game hitting streak, hitting .318 during the last 6. Robbie hitting his stride. Meanwhile, the American League pitching Triple Crown winner in 2011, 24 wins, a 2.40 ERA, 250 strikeouts. He followed that up by going 17-8 last year. Jam shot goes foul and into the seats.
You can see 93 miles an hour as he starts the ball game. Verlander can dial that up at any point, but as we showed earlier, he'll steadily move those numbers upward, and then if he maybe feels he has a gem on his hands or it's a big moment late, watch what his fastball can do.
He was 3rd in average strikeouts per 9 innings last year in the American League, 9.03. Curveball missing, takes it to 1 ball and 2 strikes. And in 2010, you saw, or 2011 rather, that 24-5 record, that 2.40 ERA. He was the unanimous Cy Young Award winner and the MVP winner.
Got 2 Triple Crown winners on the field for the Tigers.
Verlander last year led the league in innings and in strikeouts. Taken by Grossman. That works the count to 2-2 now. Verlander off to a tough luck start with only a 3-2 record, accompanied by that 1.83 earned run average. 11 walks, 41 strikeouts. Wow, Grossman working the count very well, and it goes full at 3-2.
Pitch that really impressed me is the pitch previous to this last one, a changeup. Starts around the knees, dips under, and very tough to lay off, and yet Grossman finds a way.
And fouls that one back. Nice confrontation here as Grossman forces the 30-year-old right-hander to throw another one on 3-2. Verlander has faced the Astros twice with a 1-0 record, a 2.03 ERA in those 2 starts. Grossman puts it in the air, and the center fielder Jackson moves over to left center. That's out number 1.
Defensively for the Tigers, behind Verlander, Brian Pena gets the nod behind the dish today. Around the infield, Prince Fielder at first, Omar Infante at second, Ramon Santiago with a start here first in the series. Miguel Cabrera, of course, at third base in the outfield. Speedy Austin Jackson in center. Don Kelly gets the start in right as Torrey Hunter gets a day off, and Andy Dirks again in left.
Fernando Martinez is the batter. There's ball 1 to Fernando, a 200 hitter with 1 homer, 3 runs batted in. Starting in left field. He got a start in the 14-inning game Friday night. There's ball 2. Fernando has excellent bat speed. Two balls, 1 strike with Jason Castro on deck. This is one ideal day to be outside. Crystal clear, not a cloud anywhere around. In the air and foul, headed for the upper deck perhaps. Nope, falls just short of it. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Fernando Martinez. Fernando 0 for 4 in this series. He hit a homer on the first pitch of his first at bat of the season against Cleveland after being returned from that 15-day disabled list where he began the season with a strained left oblique.
Opposite field job.
Yeah. Astros trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. This is their longest homestand of the year.
That is your 12-6 hook. Now he leaves it up a bit, but right straight over the top. That's tough to do.
Windy day. Hold everything down for a while.
Don't let it mess with your lid.
Flags aren't indicating much of a breeze out in center field, but from what we're indicating at that level, it's coming in.
I was wondering about the home run hit by Prince Fielder. It didn't get far out of here, and generally when he hits one pretty well, you would expect more distance than that.
Fernando fouls it back. Well, these first two hitters are making Verlander work. He's at 16 pitches for the day. He was the second player drafted in 04. Umber was the third player drafted that year.
Verlander's been as high as 126 pitches this year, but he's a guy when needed can go much deeper.
Still a 2-2 count. Tigers will have an off day. They travel to Washington, D.C. They'll play a 2-game series there. Old Dominion for Verlander, Rice for Umber in that 04 draft. Matt Bush, number 1, and he was a complete washout. Never made the big leagues. Jeff Neiman, though, has. You know, he's done pretty well, healthy. That's upstairs for ball 3.
Jeff Neiman's had back problems, but you're right. When he is healthy, he can be awfully tough.
Verlander's had just a magnificent career, winning 127 and losing 67. And he goes off speed to get Martinez on strikes.
Jared Weaver with the Angels, another right-hander picked a little later in that draft you've been talking about, 12th overall. Changeup picks up the strikeout.
Sold it pretty well, didn't he, Ash?
Want to keep that arm speed up on the changeup. Notice both of the first two hitters, Robbie Grossman and Fernando Martinez, are either getting a piece of that pitch, laying off, or very close, as you saw right there with Martinez. So I wonder if Verlander's giving full arm speed.
Jason Castro looks at ball 1. 262, 2 homers, 7 runs batted in. With 10 doubles, he's tied for 6th in the American League. 2 for 15 in this series, and the home run went to left field for him. He's DH'd the last couple of games. Looking at ball 2 there. And that's allowed Castro to give his legs a bit of a break. You guys had a long flight back from New York and played that night, and then the 14-inning game the next night. So Castro now should be feeling a little bit stronger in terms of leg strength. And Carlos Corporan is the DH in this ball game today. Carlos Pena's on deck. It's a 3-ball no strike count now. Verlander has walked only 11 in 40 innings.
Bit of a struggle here in the first inning.
Yeah.
Thanks in good part to some good at bats by the top two guys.
Very nice work by the hitters. He walked only 60 last year in 238 innings. And he walks one here on 4 straight. Castro takes walk number 6 of the year and brings up Pena. Carlos Pena with 3 homers, 9 runs batted in. Has a 236 batting average, but a 336 on base average. Walked 16 times. That puts him in the top 10. 3 for 12 with a long ball in this series for Carlos. His 6-game hitting streak came to an end last night as he went 0 for 2 in the game. He has started all but 2 of the first 32 games, including this one. He's appeared in every one so far. Strike to Carlos. Against Verlander, he's a 273 career hitter with 1 homer, 4 runs batted in.
If Carlos keeps offering on that high fastball, I don't really expect to see Verlander try to come down with the heater. I think that high fastball is the very difficult one for Pena.
Pena looks at it. It's a strike, and quickly the count runs to 0-2. Verlander pitched a no-hitter against Milwaukee in 07. Another one that Ash talked about in 2011 against Toronto.
He's had other outings where I think at least 2 other games could realistically have been no-hitters already in this young career for Verlander.
Throw goes over to first. He signed a 5-year contract extension this spring, plus a vesting option. If he gets the vesting option, that would take him through the 2020 season.
I don't see anybody realistically having a shot, at least that I can foresee, of the 7 no-hitters by Nolan Ryan. But if anybody were to have that shot, it might be Verlander.
He gets his second strikeout to snuff out the Astros in the first inning, and after 1, it's 2-0 Detroit.
Nothing as we head to the second. Our AT&T tweet of the game has to do with Cinco de Mayo festivities. It comes from Steve Richards, 83. He says, gorgeous day outside, perfect for Cinco de Mayo festivities outside the ballpark before the Astros-Tigers game. Hashtag Astros. The Street Fest took place from 12 to 3 today. I could actually hear the mariachis from here inside the park. Carlos Pena and General Manager Jeff Luhnow, they took some questions from the fans over there as well, guys.
They did. Gorgeous day outside for everybody. There's Alex Trevino. Francisco is with him. There is strike 1 to Don Kelly, leading it off here in the second inning. Kelly at 212. No homers and 1 run batted in.
I heard some nice Spanish inflection there by Julia.
Oh, yeah.
Mariachis.
She's on it.
You guys know my last name, right?
Yes, we do. And you have had...
You think that gives you an in?
Oh, you know, it doesn't. But I actually grew up listening to mariachis at my grandmother's birthday and family events like that, so I love it.
Bad. Don Kelly takes. Now, your mom is coming when, Julia?
Mother's Day weekend. She'll be here Saturday and Sunday of next week.
Very good. So you'll be getting... Is she cooking for you? Or?
No, I'll probably take her out.
Okay. Well, you should. Mother's Day weekend.
Exactly.
Pitch to Kelly's high, and it's a 3-ball, 1-strike count. So everybody's making plans for next weekend already, with that Mother's Day weekend prominent on the schedule. Big picnic coming up on Sunday before the game. Picnic in the park here. Kelly unwinds, and it's a 3-ball, 2-strike count. Kelly's 2 for 7 in this series. Bull Porter announced before the game that Eric Bedard is going to the bullpen for an indefinite period of time. Kelly draws a leadoff walk. That's the first walk for Umber today. So Bedard will be used in a variety of ways, we're told by Bull Porter, in relief. The Astros have an off day tomorrow, and they have not yet announced their pitcher for next Friday. Jordan Lyles has moved into the starting rotation with Brad Peacock going to Oklahoma City. Now Eric Bedard moving to the bullpen with that 0-2 record and an 8.20 ERA. Lyles will start Tuesday. The next necessary start in Bedard's spot will be Friday. The Astros will probably announce that on Wednesday or so. Brian Pena, the catcher, looks at ball one. 2-12 for Pena. No homers, 2 runs batted in. Pena's 1 for 3 in this series. And he played a little bit in one of the games. Came into play late. Other than that, it's been Alex Avila catching the first 3. And the day off for both these clubs tomorrow, so those catchers will get that much needed rest on their legs. Down and in for a ball. That makes it a 2-ball, no strike count. Astros have been kind of grinding it without a day off for a while here for early season baseball, Ash.
Yeah, I was thinking about the catchers, and my experience was when I was able to play on a daily basis, be that guy running out there every day, it was actually easier for me than being the backup guy and doing all the squatting in the bullpen and maybe not getting as much running as you would like.
There's a shot to right field. Ankiel heading back, turning at the wall, and that one reaches the seats again. A 2-run homer here for Pena. And it's 4-0 Detroit on a pair of 2-run long balls in the first 2 innings. Gives Pena 4 runs batted in for the season. A line shot that jumped out to right.
Philip Humber's got to find a way to get ahead, stay ahead. His stuff is not overpowering like Verlander's can be. And I just think it's too difficult to pitch even in that even in the count kind of scenario, but certainly from behind.
Omar Infante's the batter. Infante has hit well in the early season. Infante takes for ball 1. Infante has 4 hits in this series. His batting average has come up to .303 with 2 homers, 10 runs batted in. Fouls that one back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brian Pena last year hit 2 homers for Kansas City in 212 at bats. A home run, his 15th as a major leaguer in 885 at bats. Nice production from the backup catcher for Jim Leyland today. Strike makes it a 1-ball, 2-strike count for Philip Humber. And Philip pitched well in his first 3 starts of the season. Had nothing to show but 3 losses and a 2.89 ERA with that 0-3 record. Carlos Pena tracks it and it goes over into the seats. About the second row. Still a 1-2 count. And tough times for the Astros starting rotation with 7 wins, 17 losses, a 7.01 ERA for the starters. But Doug Brocail's starters had good outings with Jordan Lyles and Bud Norris back-to-back in this series, Thursday and Friday.
Especially so when you consider the team those were thrown against.
Yeah. Infante strikes out. That's number 1 for Humber.
Good slider here. He threw a good curveball earlier in the count. We've talked about the fact that he's tried, at least in the previous start, to go to the changeup a bit more.
Ramon Santiago, 33-year-old backup infielders, 2 for 23. And he hits one on the ground up the right field line. It kicks out toward Rick Ankiel. Oh, not a good idea. And the throw gets by Johnny Cedeno at shortstop. Santiago might have been gunned down, but Ankiel's low throw skipped past the middle infielder. And it did work for Santiago, so maybe it was a good idea. Winds up with a double. Like he might be out.
Pretty tough guy to challenge right here. And Ankiel let it fly, but when he winds up with one of these shorter throws, I think it can even be more challenging for him. He likes to bounce it in, and he bounced it a little too close to an infielder with that kind of hair on it, and it's just so tough.
Austin Jackson Looks it over for ball one. Jackson hit a fly ball to right as he led off the game. Outstanding defensive player during his 9-game hitting streak. He's hit .351. Led the American League in triples last year with 10. That's good for a strike, and it's 1-1. Tim Welke, the crew chief, is the home plate umpire. So all 4 umps on this crew have had the plate during this 4-game series. Tigers have worked their way into first place during this series. Kansas City's had a couple of postponements this past week, falling behind by a half game. Good stop there by Castro on that pitch in the dirt. 2 balls and a strike. Coming into this game, there was a huge difference between the performance of right-handed batters against Umber compared to left-handed hitters. Right-handed batters have hit .220 against him this season. Andy Dirks is on deck. That's ball 3, and it's 3-1 for Phillip.
I don't get the impression that there is a pitch maybe beyond the fastball, and I'm not sure I can even put the fastball in the category, where you say Phillip Umber right now has absolute command, especially psychologically. Does he know he can throw this pitch or that for a strike?
That one misses for ball 4, his second walk of the inning.
And I think when you're standing there on the hill and you don't know that you can get 1 or 2 or more pitches over the plate on any given pitch, I just think it's so tough.
He was in a very nice groove out of the chute, but then against Cleveland here lasted 1/3 of an inning, giving up 8 hits and 8 earned runs. April 20th. Next start at Boston, 7 earned runs and 4 2/3, and then decent numbers against the Yankees last time out. Andy Dirks lined a single to right field in the first. Cedeno moves in behind the runner at second. There's ball 1. Santiago had a pretty good sized lead there at second base. Cabrera is on deck. How many times have you looked down and Cabrera's been on deck in this series?
21 hits for the Tigers last night. That'll turn that order around pretty quickly.
And if you're a pitcher and a pitching coach and a manager on the other team, you're always looking to see when Cabrera's coming up again. They have turned over their lineup in this series. That's in for a strike. That makes it 1-1.
Yeah, the problem with the Tigers when you're facing them, you're going to walk Miguel Cabrera and Prince Fielder waits on deck, and it's a lineup that is loaded, and when they get a number of guys hot top to bottom, nobody you want to face.
Well, they won in 14 Thursday night, 7-3. They won a 4-3 game Friday night. Last night a 17-2 Detroit blowout. Tigers have captured 8 of their last 9. There's strike 2.
That's a good changeup. Stay with that pitch. See the reaction the changeup brings. You swing and you're just reaching in the end because the pitch hasn't gotten to you. You think you're seeing a fastball.
That's another line drive to right field by Dirks. That's in for a hit. Here comes the runner Santiago to the plate to make it 5-0 on the RBI single by Dirks. Dirks is 2 for 2 now. That's RBI number 6 for him. Jackson took third.
Another changeup, but left up, and I don't know if after seeing the first one that it enables Andy Dirks to stay on it better, but certainly a much easier hitting location. Five runs on 5 hits. Santiago steps on the plate.
Pair of 2-run homers. Now 3 hits and 2 walks in this inning. Have the Tigers set up first and third, 1 out for Miguel Cabrera. Cabrera's leading the league with runners in scoring position with a .548 batting average. Hit the ball to the 404 sign in left center field, caught by Grossman in the first inning. Cabrera takes ball 1. Albert Pujols has been the recent standard for right-handed hitters in Major League Baseball, combining batting average and power. But Cabrera seems to take it to a little bit higher level even than Albert.
Well, we've heard tales about Ted Williams when he was a kid, saying that he wanted to be known one day as the best hitter in baseball, maybe in baseball history. And I wonder if this young man ever had any of those thoughts. Miguel Cabrera, I think when it's all said and done, is going to historically go among the great ones.
Just turned 30 last month. The Marlins signed him as a free agent in '99, and Venezuela gave him a $1.9 million signing bonus. So they recognize the talent. 2 balls and a strike. His first year with the Marlins was their World Series winning year of '03. What a way to break in. So in his first postseason that year, he hit 3 homers and drove in 6 in the National League Championship Series against the Cubs. Hit another homer in the World Series.
Much more slender player at the time.
Bad. It's 3 balls and a strike. Was he an outfielder when he came up, Ash?
I believe he was a right fielder.
I believe so, yeah.
Had the ability, people said, to come in and play at first and third. And
well, then that next year, in '04 for Florida, he became an all-star, hit 33 homers, drove in 112, and that just began a string of years with 100 runs batted in. That's continued on through last year. 9 in a row with at least 100 runs batted in for Cabrera, and a very nice start toward number 10 this year. He takes a walk to load the bases. Third walk of the inning brings up Fielder.
In that 2003 season with Florida, he played 55 games as a left fielder, and he played 34 games, 30 as a starter as a third baseman, so he was already showing that he could move around well.
Now Doug Brocail goes out with the bases loaded and 1 out. And it'll be Fielder who ripped the 2-run homer in the first. Here's that vicious swing of Fielder.
Yeah, looks like he really gets it, and I don't know if that wind you talked about, Brownie, might have knocked this down a bit, but when it's all said and done, it gets out.
This 1-2 punch is probably the best 1-2 punch of 3 and 4 hitters in Major League Baseball. Fielder, a .274 career hitter with the bases loaded, 1 grand slam. His home run in the first was the 25th of his career against Houston pitching. He's driven in 78 against the Astros. Looking at ball 1. He is the 8th Tiger to bat here in the second inning.
You know, that curveball right there is caught below the knees. I'll grant that. But up at the front of the plate, at maybe a little closer to the apex of the curveball. For me, that's got to be at the knees as it reaches home plate.
It's been a 30-pitch inning for Umber, and it's a 2-ball, no strike.
Look at that curveball from the side. Up at the front of the plate, that line coming in. To me, that looked like it crossed the knee line.
It did.
Now, on a fastball, it's going to be different, but on the curveball coming over from the top, I think that gets missed a lot by umpires.
Strike makes it 2-1. There's some bullpen action for the Astros now. Travis Blackley, a left-hander, warming up, with Jackson, Dirks, and Cabrera the base runners. And Fielder was playing in 2011 with Milwaukee against the Astros. That year he hit .458 against Houston, 6 homers, 18 runs batted in. That's ball 3.
Even that pitch is close.
Yeah.
In terms of elevation, can't really speak to the inside corner there, but
Likely gets loose with a 3-1 count on Fielder. Lives in Tyler, Texas now. He was born in Nacogdoches. A shot on the ground into right field, scoring Jackson. And here comes a second runner scoring on the play as the throw goes into the middle of the infield. A 2-run single by Fielder, giving him 4 runs batted in. Dirks follows Jackson. And it's 7-0.
a little surprise for me that Rick Ankiel doesn't come with a hard throw toward the cutoff man in the direction of home plate here, as Rick is charging. I think if he hits the cutoff man, the lead runner at second can't go anywhere anyway, and his arm is so spectacular. Just surprising that he doesn't take a shot.
7 runs on 6 hits for Detroit. Cabrera stopping at second as Ankiel threw back in. Now with 1 out, they bat around. Martinez comes around, the 9th man to get into that batter's box for Detroit here. He grounded out in the first inning. That's strike 1 to Martinez. Well, Torrey Hunter, with the addition of Torrey, who's on the bench in right field, that could really help the offense of the Tigers. And the other thing that could really assist them to be even more productive than they were a year ago is a healthy Victor Martinez. He missed all of last year
after having a fine year the previous season for the Tigers.
Yeah, he's had years with 100 runs batted in. He's had a couple of those. He's hit 300 several times in his major league career. He's a 303 lifetime hitter.
Brownie, you mentioned the Tigers second best in the league in runs scored. They're third in ERA, their overall pitching staff. They're just a real good unit.
Fine team, they really are. In the dirt for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Astros are in this stretch of playing a series of fine teams. Texas Rangers will be in over the weekend. They get the Angels Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. The Angels have been in hard times since the season opened this year. That's in for a strike. 1-2 to Victor Martinez.
In fact, when you talk just starting pitching, the Tigers are second best, just 3/100ths of a point behind the Texas Rangers. I hope I said Detroit in second place.
Yeah, you did.
They are. Yeah, that is a strength. You talk starting pitching, you talk that offense in terms of run scoring. Just tough to beat.
Well-rounded bunch. Fielding percentages there. Not a lot of range on the infield, but the percentage is high. Fouled away.
Yeah, I would agree. They're not the kind of defensive club that you get stunned by. But we saw last night Miguel Cabrera make a great diving play.
He sure did.
You start to see some real nice plays by that club.
He robbed his Venezuelan buddy, Jose Altuve, of a hit.
It was just simply not right.
May 5th, Detroit is looking very good. 29 games into the season. White Sox looked very good for a long time last year, but then faded as the Tigers overtook them in the final days of the race. That's a looping liner, and right fielder Rick Ankiel rushes in, lays out for it, makes the catch, throw back to second, not there on the bag, so Cabrera gets back, but Ankiel got up quickly. With an accurate throw, he might have had a double play.
Well, he's just all out, and I don't know if he thought for a moment he might be able to stay on his feet to make the play.
But maybe Cabrera might have made it back anyway. He just couldn't keep his footing, could he? Pitch forward. He breaks in on the ball very well.
So I'll go back on a couple of balls recently quite well.
Don Kelly now batting for the second time in the inning. Walked and scored earlier. Fouls that one for strike one. He rode home on the Pena homer. Early stages of the game have really been rough on the Astros. Last night they gave up 4 in the first and 2 in the second. Detroit rolling it up for Max Scherzer on the way to a 17-2 win. And today 2 runs in the first, 5 so far here in the second. Fly ball goes to right field and Kill over toward right center. To retire Kelly. The Tigers send 10 to the plate in the 5-run second inning. They chime in with 4 hits. They lead 7-0. A half. We want to remind you to tune in to Chevy Hometown Kids every Saturday morning at 9:30 on CSN. Chevy Hometown Kids, where it's not about the score but the experience. Kids enjoying a little bit of a snow cone, some cotton candy, a variety of choices here at Minute Maid Park, and plenty of games remaining on this longest homestand of the year. 3 with the Angels, 3 with the Rangers coming up to round it out.
See if we can get these kids to enjoy some offense. It is about the score here.
It is about the score. And Justin Verlander has a 7-0 lead. Carlos Corporan leads it off. DHing today. And taking ball 1. Carlos with a .333 average, 2 homers, has 6 runs batted in. He spoiled the shutout bid last night in the 7th inning with this long ball off Max Scherzer. He won in Yankee Stadium. It's 2 balls and no strikes. So Corporan has earned his playing time and earned his way into the DH part of the lineup today. It's a 2-ball, 1-strike count, and it's working out at DH about the way Bo Porter thought it would before the season. It's been a situation of using several different players in that spot in the order. Try to rotate the playing time, keep players fresh. Them in the mix in the field as well. It's a 2-ball, 2-strike count. See, at DH, Chris Carter has 13 starts. Carlos Pena 11. Jason Castro 3. Ronnie Cedeno 2. Fernando Martinez 1. Jose Altuve 1. And now first start for Corporan at DH. There aren't too many clubs. Well, David Ortiz of Boston would be one exception, and Victor Martinez here of Detroit, who just rely on mainly one DH.
It's nice when you don't have to, because it does give the other guys a chance to kind of semi-catch a day off here and there.
So this is DH number 7 used by Bull Porter. Laird and Ankiel to follow. There's a bouncer to first. Fielder tossing it, and Verlander there for out number 1.
Some of you watching this game right now don't have CSN right in your own home. If your TV provider doesn't carry CSN yet, call and tell them you want CSN so that you can have the very best coverage of the Astros. This is your network, Astros fans. You deserve it. To get the facts, go to iwantcsnhouston.com.
Brandon Laird, whose brother Gerald used to catch for the Tigers, gets the call at third base today. Matt Dominguez has not had very many days off. This is his second one. Laird takes a look at it. It's strike 1. 226 for Brandon. 2 homers, 5 runs batted in. He's had 31 at bats. Matt Dominguez has played in all but 2 games. He has a couple of days off before this one. No balls, 2 strikes.
So you get that rare start, at least the way it's been going lately for Brandon Laird, and you look up and Justin Verlander's on the hill.
Oh boy.
And then you get the low strike called on you to start things.
Well, Laird hit a homer this spring off Verlander. Porter remembered that back from the 21st of March in Lakeland, Florida. Corcoran also went deep, and so did Dominguez against Verlander in that game. Not that that's a great indicator of what might happen when the game really counts, but something that's in the memory of the skipper.
Confidence booster. Yeah, I think you look at your bench and you think, well, this guy might have as good a chance as anybody against one of the game's outstanding right-handers.
And Laird had that reputation this spring of performing well against some of the top credentials from pitchers.
Yeah, Brandon Laird could steadily get it going with the bat. He might find a way to play a lot. Of course, Matt Dominguez will be the guy steadily taking that third base job. He's played very well.
The liner goes foul. And a good idea, too, for Bull Porter to give Matt Dominguez this day off, the scheduled day off tomorrow, because he does seem to be a guy who's going to play at the home.
Playing great defense. Swinging the bat better here in the last couple of weeks.
Jose Altuve off today. Jose turns 23 tomorrow.
I hope he hasn't hit that decline portion of his career yet.
There's a strikeout. That's number 3 for Verlander.
Might be the first slider we've seen this afternoon. Certainly hasn't thrown many, talking about Verlander, but didn't even have to start this one toward the strike zone.
No. Rick Ankiel with 5 homers, 11 runs batted in, and a .200 batting average is next. He is 0 for 5 lifetime against this right-hander. Off the end of the bat, a pop-up. And foul territory. Brian Pena over. Can't get to it. Well, this has been a run of starting pitching for the pitching coach Jeff Jones and the skipper Jim Leyland. 21 quality starts for the Tigers. They lead the American League in that statistic, and they've had 19 quality starts in the last 21 games. So as Ash mentioned, their staff ERA is 3.47. They lead the AL in strikeouts. It's been a tremendous strikeout pace for their staff.
If I read things right, Jim Leyland said he didn't like blowout games like last night, not even on the leading side.
Oh?
And I'm thinking, come on. You got to enjoy it when you're on that leading side. It's really a party for your ball club offensively.
Breaking ball didn't come around, and it's 1-2. Well, the Tigers pitchers have struck out now 300 this season with the 3 from Verlander today. That leads the American League. And they're averaging 9.8 strikeouts per 9 innings. That one got away from him, 2-2. And that strikeout pace is more than a full strikeout higher than the modern day major league record of 8.68 per 9 innings established by the Brewers last season.
Here's the flip side of that one. It has nothing to do with the Tigers in reality. The Astros offensively have struck out 310 times in 31 games. That one's easy to figure.
That's number 4 of the day. Verlander has a 1-2-3 second and a 7-0 lead. To Miller time later in tonight's game. Today's game brought to you by Miller Lite.
By the way, just want to be clear about what I was talking about. Easy to figure. 310 strikeouts, 31 games, 10 per game. That's the easy to figure part, and obviously an area the Astros would love to be able to work on and improve upon.
Hard to believe one club has struck out, well, let's see, they've struck out more often any other team in the American League, so there hasn't been a club that struck out more. Here's Pena leading it off now in the 3rd inning. Pena ripped a 2-run homer in the 2nd. There's ball 1. The Nationals are on the road at Pittsburgh, and they won today 6-2. Gio Gonzalez going to 3-2 with that win over Wandy Rodriguez. Wandy with a loss goes to 2-2. Marte hit his 5th home run for the losing Buccos.
Gio Gonzalez, another pitcher drafted in that Justin Verlander, Philip Umber year of fine pitching.
It was quite a yield that year. 0-4. 2 balls and a strike. Nationals are 17-15. They will be taking on these Tigers in Washington Tuesday and Wednesday. It's a 3-ball, 1-strike count now to Brian Pena. Tim Hudson and the Braves beat the Mets 9-4 in Atlanta, beating Jonathan Neese. Hudson's 4-1. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Braves are now 18-12. The Blue Jays have won for the 11th time this year, 10-2 over the Mariners. Brandon Morrow got that win, beating Joe Saunders. Melky Cabrera hit his first. One hopper, Pena down. He gets up. Will the pitcher be there? Umber takes the toss in time to get Pena. 3-1 play for out number 1. Lashed at Pena.
Nice play by Carlos. And it has been a question mark as to whether pitchers are going to get to the bag in time on this play, at least a couple of times recently.
He was staggered by that one. The force of that ground ball, and fell over. So the pitcher had to make the play, or Pena was going to be safe at first.
Like one of those highlight mitts with the ball slinging up into the top. I don't know if they call them mitts or what.
Cestas.
Cestas.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Omar Infante. Good strike one. You ever play highlight?
No, that's one I've missed.
Well, you need to go back and
what's that ball made of?
Redo your childhood. Well, there was a wiffle ball you could play with as a kid. Ground ball foul. That's what we played with. Cesta with a little wiffle ball in it.
Okay.
So we could do that maybe. someday in the backyard. No balls, 2 strikes on Infante.
One time I saw, well, I guess I saw it a number of times on TV in my younger years, and the ball looked very hard.
It does look hard, yeah. Looks smaller and harder than a baseball. Fly ball to right field. Rick Ankiel waiting for this one. 2 outs. Looks kind of like a polo ball. Let's go to Julia Morales now. Julia?
Hey guys, Tuesday, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim come to town, followed by a weekend series against the Rangers. Don't miss your chance to see the Astros face off against Albert Pujols, Lance Berkman, or Rookie of the Year Mike Trout. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit Astros.com to get your tickets now.
Thank you. We have pitching matchups for that Angels series. We'll get to those in a moment. Santiago's the batter. He doubled and scored. There's strike 1. Let's see. Tuesday night, 7:10 start for the Angels game. Jordan Lyles and C.J. Wilson. Wednesday night at 7:10, it's Bud Norris and Joe Blanton. Thursday night at 7:10, Lucas Harrell and Jason Vargas. No balls, 2 strikes. Ball's fouled off his leg. He crumples. Santiago gets up slowly as the ball rolls out to Carlos Pena at first base.
Yeah, always be glad that it's a curveball and not a fastball when you do this. But boy, if that area has been hit before multiple times, it becomes so sensitive. I know I did it to both legs, and get to a point where you're almost scared anytime the opposing pitcher comes in.
So after catching a full major league season and banging balls off your legs and taking all those shots from the pitching staff, how long would it take before you would feel normal in the offseason?
My honest answer is I couldn't get there. In fact, to this day, I think it's been 5 or 6 years since I retired as a player, my shins are still a mess.
5 or 6 years since you retired?
Let the kids, or grandkids if you will, get on the shins on a ride around, and it hurts like crazy.
1 ball and 2 strikes. So you're saying you don't want to play any highlight in the offseason? There you go.
Let's see. Yeah, make it look routine like you've done it before. There wasn't much on that throw. Late in the career, there wasn't much on the throws. Let's see what happens here. This could be a long ball. It was a walk-off home run in the playoffs against the Dodgers. Kind of fun.
Was that Ramon Martinez? Couldn't tell who that pitcher was.
That was... I'll get it for you in a second. Dave Stewart.
Oh.
I believe.
Okay.
Or was that...
well, the game winner was off Dave Stewart.
Yeah, that's the game winner. That's the walk-off right behind a Craig Reynolds pinch hit base hit.
Yeah. Santiago got his second hit. Now, you were interviewed by Bryant Gumbel after this.
Yeah, that's kind of surreal, too. Just never imagine yourself in those places. I grew up a Dodger fan, and there you are, kind of beating it. Please get away from the plate. I need to see that thing. Good times.
Roller to shortstop. Cedeno gets it on to second for the forced play to Marwin Gonzalez. No runs a hit. The man left. Middle of the 3rd inning. 7-0 Tigers.
Wednesday as the Dynamo travel to the nation's capital looking for a road result against DC United. Coverage begins at 5:30 with Dynamo pregame live, followed by kickoff at 6. Dynamo DC United Wednesday on CSN Plus.
Are we going to be on the Plus anymore this year?
I don't think so. I think.
That's it.
How's that work?
I'm not sure, but the Rockets are finished, as we know. So that's why we were moved to the Plus a few times. Big sporting time of the year. Not enough channels to carry everything. Ronnie Cedeno at 302 with 1 homer, has 8 runs batted in. And he is 2 for 6 in his career against Verlander. That's a foul ball into the upper deck.
I'm one of the ones trying to inform my carrier that I want my CSN.
How's that going?
Not so well yet. You've got your CSN.
Yeah, no problem. Watched you guys every night on the road trip. Strike makes it 0-2. We get to watch Corey Heppola and Mike Stanton on the Astros pregame live show today. Off-speed pitch floats inside, 1-2.
These guys do a bang-up job.
They do very well.
Yeah, I need to get my opportunity to see everything that's going on.
Foul straight back. Marwin Gonzalez is on deck, and Robbie Grossman will bat third in the inning against Verlander. One thing that was impressive to Jose Altuve and his teammates last night about Max Scherzer is that he just had command of everything, and he kept pitching even with the big lead. Didn't resort to just firing fastballs.
Yep. We talked about it late in the ball game, and for me that was very impressive. It was the right thing to do. You don't just go out there and because we've got a big lead get forced into the corner that says, well, just throw nothing but fastballs and let the other guys tee off.
It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. So as a result, Scherzer is now 4-0. He has a 3.43 ERA. Verlander's 3-2 with a 1.83. Doug Fister's 4-0 with a 2.48. Anibal Sanchez 3-2 with a 1.82. Off Verlander, and it trickles over toward first. He tosses underhanded to fielder and recovers to get Cedeno. Might have hit him in the wrist or perhaps the heel of the glove.
Immediately threw up his right hand toward the third base dugout saying, guys, I'm fine, don't bother coming out here. Might have been that heel of or wrist area on the left hand. I'm fine. Really not anxious to talk to any of you guys right now anyway.
Stay away. I've got a no-hitter going.
Are you allowed to acknowledge that as the pitcher yourself?
No, that's against the code. Marwin Gonzalez is the batter. On the ground it goes to Infante. A 1-pitch out, number 2 for Verlander. He is just clipping right along. 6 in a row retired by Justin. Robbie Grossman battled him as he led off the Astros first. He worked the count to 3-2, fouled off some pitches, and then hit a fly ball to center field. This is Robbie's 12th in a row now. That gives him a chance to get some rhythm, get some at-bats against some of these frontline pitchers in the league. A measuring stick for himself as a major leaguer.
Wow. That's a strike. I'm sorry. I don't care who I'm talking about. You missed that call.
Okay. One ball, 1 strike.
You take a look at this fastball.
All right. They look pretty good.
To me, that's knees, bottom of the knees. That's a major league strike.
They look good. Normally the veteran would get the call on a fringe call. The umpires would say, nah, it's hogwash. We don't do that.
Don't you dare show it at the ballpark.
Not that cap.
I would never put the combination of colors together, but they look sharp.
Yeah. Well, you're very conservative.
I guess I am. It was good looking.
Have you ever been a hedge fund manager, by the way?
It's been weeks.
Okay. One hopper to second, and Fonte will handle this one in routine fashion. And Verlander's clipping along through 3. He's allowed only one base runner on a walk. 7-0.
As we head to the 4th, it's time for our progressive fan of the game to get this awesome goodie bag. Today it is Al who is holding the biggest glove I've ever seen. Hold it up for us, Al. Where did you get this glove?
I had it made by Academa.
Seriously, you just had this glove made. Can you catch anything with this?
Yeah, I just kind of two-finger it, and I'm able to catch stuff with it.
This is incredible. Where'd you get the idea?
I saw Manny Ramirez have one, and I called the company. They said, well, we don't make left-handed ones. And then I had a friend of mine that was in the minor leagues, and he said, yeah, I'll call him. You call this guy. I called this guy. And it took like 6 months, and they had it made for me.
Worth it?
Oh, it's absolutely worth it. We've taken it everywhere.
Guys.
Andy Dirks with a home run to right, and it's 8-0 as Dirks goes 3 for 3. That's his second long ball of the year. Julia, back to you.
Julia, tell that gentleman don't catch anything smaller than a bread box in that glove. It'll go right through the holes there in the pocket.
No, it's bigger than me.
Manny Ramirez had one of those. Here's the swing by Dirks.
Yeah, he got a load of this one. Launches it to that second tank. You know, you don't have to just have the big names in this Tiger lineup the way they're swinging right now. They are a load to handle.
Miguel Cabrera takes ball 1. Cabrera has put one in the air to the 404 sign in left center field, and he's walked. Has 2 career home runs and 7 at bats against Umber, who delivers ball 2. That's 3 homers for the Tigers today. And they have now hit as many as the Astros this year, 30 home runs. There to his left. Here's the throw to Pena. And Fielder will follow. Fielder's driven in 4 already. Fielder hit a 2-run homer in the first and then stroked a 2-run single in the second inning. 8 runs on 8 hits for Detroit. Strike on the breaking pitch from Philip Umber. Athletics beat the Yankees 5-4 at Yankee Stadium. Sean Doolittle won that one in relief, beating Boone Logan. Grant Balfour got his 5th save. No balls, 2 strikes. Yoenis Cespedes hit his 5th home run. The Twins won at Cleveland 4-2. Mike Pelfrey squaring his record at 3-3, beating Corey Kluber. Glenn Perkins getting save number 7. Bounce foul. Infield shifted here for a fielder. Eduardo Perez runs the infield for the Astros, setting up the alignment. And he explained that the Astros have not done a lot of shifting on the Tiger hitters in this series because these hitters are veterans who can really take advantage of holes in the infield. This one does go right to the second sector. Marlon Gonzalez, 2 outs. And Victor Martinez will follow. Martinez is 0 for 2, a ground out and a line out to right.
Well, in watching Miguel Cabrera, I think he has done just that at times. See a big hole, big gap on one side, and just looks like he well, he's another level hitter, no question about it. Just a terrific hitter. It looks like he can shoot balls through holes.
Tony Gwynn used to be in that type situation and delivering all the time, getting through holes in the infield. Ball 1 to Martinez, but of course Tony didn't hit for a lot of power, and Cabrera is the entire package.
With Cabrera, unlike guys that are really good hitters that maybe can take advantage of holes that they're presented with, Cabrera can drive it out going any direction he chooses.
He certainly can. It'll be interesting to see what his final career numbers are, right?
Well, I think so. And sometimes I think you have to look beyond numbers. In his case, they'll be staring right at everybody that judges what kind of a hitter he was throughout his career. But I think I just don't see how he's not going to be labeled as one of the game's great hitters.
3 balls, no strikes.
We were talking about it the other night. I really do think the word sacrilege comes to mind when you start trying to compare guys to Ted Williams and Joe DiMaggio and just some of the great names, Willie Mays, whatever it may be for you. But I think he belongs when you start talking about players like that.
3-1.
Now he's got a lot of years still to put up to get himself entrenched in that kind of category, but he is one of the great hitters.
Well, as you know, he began his career with the Marlins, but he's already moving up on that all-time Detroit home run list. He's in 12th place right now, only 3 homers away from Dick McCullough for 11th and 6 away from 10th. That's Kirk Gibson at 195 in a Tiger uniform. He's joined some select company. Harry Heilman and Ty Cobb as the only Tigers to reach 45 hits and 35 runs batted in by this point in the season. Sharply hit to Carlos Pena for out number 3. The Dirks home run gives the Tigers run number 8. They lead it 8-0 in the 4th.
Tigers over the Astros. Time for our Geico quote of the game, and it comes from the guy that's on deck. That's Jason Castro. He said, "Part of our approach is trying to be what we call selectively aggressive. So we're trying to find pitches in the zone that we're able to drive and put aggressive swings on them, guys."
And we've heard the hitting coach John Maley talk about that as well. Try to select an area for a pitch in a favorable spot and go for it aggressively.
It's a concept that's been talked about for a long time. It's nothing brand new, but you'd love to be able to do it.
Martinez with a fly ball. Dirks back into the left field corner along that warning track. One pitch went out for Verlander here as we open the home fourth inning.
You know, I think the smartest comment I ever heard was from Yogi Berra, and he just simply said, when he talked about what he did as a hitter, he said, well, I just saw the ball and reacted and hit it. And I really think that's what you do ultimately in baseball. You're either going to be aggressive or you're not. And when you see the baseball, you recognize it's a good pitch to handle or it's not. You recognize fastball, curve, slider. Most guys can't do all of that. Yogi could, but the guys that can do that are the guys that succeed.
Castro comes around for the second time. He walked earlier. Strike. So both Astros catchers are in the lineup today with Corpora and DH. The Astros catchers have combined to hit .303. That's second in the American League. Oakland has a .306 combined batting average by catchers. 0-2. Hey, speaking of Oakland catchers, Max Stassi, who was with Oakland, was traded to the Astros in that Jed Lowry deal. He is back now playing at AA Corpus Christi after his surgery for sports hernia. Very highly regarded young catcher. No balls, 2 strikes. The Astros has some good records in the farm system in the early going this season. Oklahoma City playing a doubleheader at Iowa today to make up for 2 postponements. Corpus Christi lost last night 6-2. There's a strikeout of Castro. That's the 5th for Verlander.
Justin Verlander just keeps sailing along, runs that fastball, probably starts it on the outside corner and runs it off.
Carlos Pena, as Rex Jones looks into his left eye. He needs some eye drops to flush something out of that left eye. That's what's happening right here. It's always great to go up against Justin Verlander with something wrong with your eye.
Yeah, that helps.
So he'll take a moment, make sure those eye drops take hold, and he's able to go to the batter's box with clear vision of Mr. Verlander's offerings here. Pena struck out in the first inning. Lancaster lost last night, and Delino DeShields was removed from the game with an apparent injury to his left hand, but we don't know anything more than that. There's ball 1. Eric Bedard has been warming up in the Astros bullpen. So that could be it for Philip Humber through 4. He's allowed 8 hits and 8 runs. Bedard getting loose. And today was the day the media was told that Bedard was going to the bullpen. 2 balls, no strikes. And Bo Porter said, well, he gives us a lot of flexibility. He can be used in different ways. He could come in and pitch for a while, as he did when he got that opening day save in relief of Bud Norris. He went 3 1/3 in that one. Or he could come in and face a couple of batters and come out of the game. Strike makes it 2-1. Bedard pitched on Wednesday at Yankee Stadium. So he would have 3 days rest if he comes into this game. Foul back. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So There are several possibilities for that start on Friday against the Rangers. And the Astros will announce who that starter will be probably about midweek. Could be somebody who's here in the bullpen, or could be somebody who's starting at Oklahoma City.
It would seem that Dallas Keuchel would be a logical choice.
Yeah. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Paul Clemens could be on that list.
It could be.
He's been a valuable guy in the pen, no question.
You know, with Rainer Cruz at AAA now, Ash, Paul is probably the high octane guy as far as velocity in that bullpen.
Yeah, I think that's right. Now, does it translate into starting success?
Sometimes you'll hear a manager say, well, I hate to take so-and-so out of the bullpen and start him because we need him in the pen.
Yeah, you need that guy. There's no question. But when you start talking about winning games, a lot of the times Paul Clemens is coming into games that the Astros are down by a good margin because it's kind of blown up early. If he's successful, can that equate to maybe some wins if you start him?
Maybe. Popped up back behind the dish and out of play. The Astros have managed only 1 base runner against Verlander through 3 2/3. A walk to Jason Castro in the first inning. Verlander struck out 5. He's thrown 68 pitches. 48 have been strikes. In the dirt, and it's 3-2 to Carlos Pena with Corcoran on deck.
Good to see this nice crowd on hand this afternoon.
Oh, yeah. A lot of folks got here early and walked around the field. Part of the parade that we usually see on Sundays before the ball game. Neither team took batting practice on the field today. This is the end of 17 straight for the Astros without a day off. And there's a walk to Pena. Second walk of the game for Verlander. Bringing up Corcoran. Carlos bounced out. Fielder to Verlander in the second inning.
I wonder at what point Justin Verlander starts thinking about the fact that he hasn't yielded a hit.
Yeah.
Most guys will tell you, well, it's usually the 6th, likely the 7th inning before they really think about it. I'm not so sure I buy into that because I've talked so personally with a lot of pitchers. But when you're Justin Verlander with his kind of stuff and his track record, I have a feeling you may take note earlier in the game than a lot of guys.
Corcoran grounded out earlier and fouls this one back. Strike 1.
96 on the fastball, so he's already turning up the dial.
Well, one thing about a no-hitter is that he's pitched 2 of them, so he knows how to combat all the things that go along with that in the late innings.
I don't think this guy lacks for belief in himself at all.
Strike makes it 0-2.
Get enough people telling you that you're pretty amazing and really special with your stuff, and that should go a long way in helping a guy. I think he is one of those individuals who comes with big belief in himself.
And he has not been injured in his career. Foul ball back, keeps the count at 0-2. He has pitched 200 innings now, 6 years in a row.
97 on that last heater. I think there's a sense of, you know, maybe it's time to dial it up a bit.
I guess the question would be, how badly does he want it?
I think when you're that good, I think you like to compile numbers.
1-2.
Just my guess.
Have you ever known of a situation with a pitcher like Verlander having a big lead, having a no-hitter through 7 or 8, saying, nah, I don't want it?
I always wonder about, you know, you see a guy with a pitch count that's already getting borderline, and how is a manager going to deal with it? I don't think you can take a guy out that has a no-no.
Swing and a miss. He gets strikeout number 6. He has a no-no through 4 and an 8-0 lead. Jack in the Box, the Chipotle Chicken Club Combo is back for a limited time at Jack in the Box. Try one today with fries and a drink for just $4.99 plus tax. Beautiful day in downtown Houston. The Tigers lead at 8-0. The Astros are going to the bullpen to bring in lefty Eric Bedard. And he was just told that he was assigned to the bullpen before this game. He's 0-2 with an 8.20 ERA in 6 games, 5 as a starter. That first relief appearance was really something as he got a save on opening day against the Rangers.
It's the 199th outing for Bedard in his big league career. 194 of them have been as a starter. So he is not accustomed to this relief role. Just the 5th time he's done this now in his career.
It's Don Kelly in the box to start the 5th inning. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. Bedard delivers, strike 1. Bedard against the Yankees gave up 6 hits and 4 runs in 4 innings in his last start. And that was the Wednesday game. So working on 3 days rest here. He throws a strike and it's 0-2. And he walked 4 in 4 innings in that start against the Yankees. And that really blew up his ERA was the one in Oakland. He lasted 1/3 of an inning and gave up 6 earned runs. Prior to that, he had pitched very well.
One stat that really jumps out: 7 home runs allowed in 18 2/3 innings. Maybe not quite as dangerous, but alarming nonetheless. 12 walks allowed in those 18 innings.
Kelly bounces one. The shortstop Ronnie Cedeno plays it. Throws to Pena, 1 out.
Ronnie Cedeno does a nice job on this ball. Once he gloves it, charging toward the plate, re-angling himself a bit so that he's actually shortening the distance of the throw as he runs then a bit toward first base.
Let's go to Julia Morales.
Hey guys, create memories, save money, and have fun with Astros baseball. Whether you're treating employees, hosting clients, or bringing out your church or youth sports team will create an experience your group is sure to remember. Call 1-8779-ASTROS or visit astros.com to enjoy special pricing and great benefits for reserving your suite today. I'm living the sweet life over here, can you tell? I'm in the Budweiser suite up here, and they are having a great time.
You're back up there again today?
Hey, you knew I'd make it back up here.
Yeah. Brian Pena's the batter. He's 1 for 2. Switch hitter batting right this time. Well, Julia loves that area. She was there last night.
I do.
You were telling us about the food.
Mm-hmm. Great food and great drinks and treats. Anything you can think of up here. And the view. I talked about it last night, but the view up here is so nice, and the breeze on a day like this.
Yeah. Well, last night you sampled some of the food, right?
I did. I did.
And, so are you sampling something different today?
I might have to. We'll see what they have in their suite. I haven't checked it out yet.
Well, a girl's got to eat, you know.
Make sure you do whatever work requires you to do up there, Julia.
And bring Ash some food, too.
Yeah, there you go. Never forget that aspect of things.
Ash, you and Ash actually worked this out, didn't you?
Apparently we haven't ironed out all the glitches yet.
I messed up yesterday by not bringing him anything, so I've got to make up for something today.
Well, many years ago we used to play this game, What's in Ash's Pocket, Julia, so we might have to revise that this year. What's on Ash's plate? Bounce to the right side. Following Gonzalez. 2 outs for Eric Bedard. Omar Infante is next. He's 0 for 2. A strikeout, a fly ball to right. Jose Cisnero worked 2 2/3 innings last night in relief of Lucas Harrell. Paul Clemens worked 2 innings.
You know, my pockets have gone uninspected for years now.
Wow. 1 hopper to short. Backhanded Cedeno. 3 ground ball outs for Eric Bedard here in the Tiger 5th. It's 8-0 Detroit.
up 8-0. Come out to Minute Maid Park for our annual Bayou Bash, presented by Louisiana Association of Convention and Visitor Bureaus. First pitch against the A's is at 6:10, but come out early for the live music, crawfish, and more. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS to get your tickets now, guys.
Have you ever been to a Bayou Bash?
I have not.
Oh.
I really need to get to this.
Do you like Cajun food?
I love it. I read crawfish and my mouth started watering, so yes.
Is there any kind of food you do not like?
I knew that was coming. Are you noticing a trend here?
Yeah.
I love food.
Okay. Well, then you need to go to that.
Absolutely. I'm getting to know Houston. This is one of the things I need to do.
That's a big part of the culture here. And I'm glad you're able to sample that while you're working, unlike many of the rest of us. It's 8-0, and Verlander is not allowed a hit. Joaquin Benoit is doing some tossing in the bullpen for Detroit. Brandon Laird has struck out in the second inning. He takes ball 1 high. Verlander's 2-1 on the road with a 1.50 ERA this season. It's popped up foul. Fielder comes over for a look, and it's out of play. 1-1.
Some of the best stuff in the game and running it all over the place. As Brownie just mentioned, Verlander yet to yield a hit, and he has struck out 6. Well, the good stuff is being featured, and it's getting better as we go.
And the next pitch is a ball to Laird, and it's 2 balls and a strike to Brandon. 4 innings of no-hit ball with 2 walks and 6 strikeouts for Verlander. On opening day at Minnesota, he went 5 shutout innings, and that was it for him that day, throwing 91 pitches. He's thrown 79 today. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, that pitch count actually could get him today.
It's 3-2. We mentioned Joaquin Benoit and the bullpen. There he is. Verlander has done nothing but good work this season with a 1.83 ERA, but he's 3-2. One of his losses was to the Yankees 7-0. He gave up 3 runs in 7 1/3 innings. And the other was to Seattle 2-0. Gave up 2 runs in 7 innings. He got a no decision in a 10-inning game against Kansas City, giving up 1 earned run in 7 innings. Bouncer left side. Cabrera tries to throw from his backside and does.
No way that just happened.
Miguel Cabrera from the seat of his pants throws out Brandon Laird.
I don't know if he even had a view of first base. He's made a couple of amazing plays here in the series. Yeah, he could see it. Yeah, that's quite a play.
Fielder came up with it. Spectacular play by Cabrera. He made one of those to his left on a force play on a ball hit by Altuve last night.
Well, when you start seeing a play like that in a ball game where there is not a hit to this point.
But then there's this to right center field. Kelly back, though, underneath it. Yep, when you start seeing a play like Cabrera's, you start to think about a possible no-hitter. 2 outs, but a lot of things can come along to turn that around.
It just makes you start maybe being open to the thought that this could be one of those days.
Yes. And a pitcher gets a feel for that.
I wondered when Verlander saw that play by his third baseman, did he think, well, okay, maybe that is one of those moments that spells this being a big day.
Could be a pick-me-up for him. Cedeno grounded back to Verlander. There's strike 1. Coming into this game, Verlander, since 2011, was 44-15 with a 2.47 ERA, 530 strikeouts, and 73 starts. So during that time, he leads the American League in wins, ERA, and strikeouts. No balls, 2 strikes. Led the league in strikeouts each of the last 2 years. And he gets number 7. in a 1-2-3 fifth with Cabrera's gem on Laird really helping him. And through 5 no-hit innings for Verlander, it's 8-0 Tigers.
It's 8-0 Tigers. Celebrate Mother's Day with Pink in the Park at Minute Maid Park. Next weekend as the Astros face off against the Texas Rangers. 10,000 fans will receive a pink giveaway each night, courtesy of the Methodist Cancer Center. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com to get your tickets.
Thanks, Julia. Ramon Santiago takes strike 1 from Eric Bedard. He's 2 for 2 in this game. Bedard had a 3 ground ball out, 5th inning in relief of Philip Humber. And that one's flared foul. No balls, 2 strikes. Quite a play by Miguel Cabrera on Brandon Laird in the 5th inning. So through 5, Verlander has no hit the Astros, while the Tigers have banged out 8 hits and 8 runs. Philip Humber in 4 innings, allowing those 8 hits and 8 runs, walking 3 with 1 strikeout.
Looked like Cabrera was thinking to himself, man, that was pretty good. Way beyond pretty good, that play he made.
Well, Gene Lamont, their outstanding bench coach, former Major League manager, managed the Pirates, as you know, in '97 when they were embroiled in that tight race.
And fine golfer.
Yeah. He said Cabrera, had he stayed at first, he would be absolutely terrific. One of the best around. At third base, he's getting better. That's a strikeout. And the good thing is he's working at it.
Made 2 gems in this series. Of course, the one today. This is last night. What a play. And a bang-bang call at second base. He got the call his way. But you can see he can make the play to his left. And again, right here. How does he pick up that vision of first base quickly enough to make that throw?
Yeah, it's the throw. That is just a magnificent play. In tight to Austin Jackson. There's ball 1 to him.
Big, strong power hitter with that kind of agility.
Philip Humber threw 91 pitches, 55 for strikes in his 4 innings. Bedard working quickly. Moves the count to 2-0 on Jackson. Verlander through 5 has thrown 86 pitches, 60 for strikes. And that would be a question for Jim Leyland later on in this game. If he maintains the no-hitter, do you really want to overextend him and have a high pitch count today? Johan Santana during that no-hitter was overextended by the Mets last year. And Terry Collins, his manager, was afterwards, you could tell he was so happy that the Mets finally got a no-hitter after all those years, but feeling bad that he had to allow Santana to stay in and throw that many pitches to get it. And he hasn't been the same since.
Well, you mentioned earlier Verlander has not had arm problems, and I think because he already has 2 no-hitters, he's been close on at least a couple of more, and I mean really close. I think history would cry out if Verlander wasn't given every opportunity to throw another no-no. Tough decision for Skip, though.
Oh, so if he gets around, what, 125 pitches through 7, then what do you do?
I don't know. I think you sit down and start cheering.
Now, that would be unlikely because he has 86 through 5.
Well, I imagine if it comes to it, you probably have at least the conversation with Justin and find out what's on his mind.
Jackson strikes out. That's 5 in a row for Bedard. You saw this game against the Toronto Blue Jays.
In Toronto. And yeah, he had good stuff early on. Sometimes it's tough to tell, like watching today's ball game. But as he got deeper into the ball game, his fastball started lighting up. He turned up the dial. He got up to 100+ miles an hour. I believe at least maybe 10 pitches in that 100-mile-an-hour range and 101 to go with it. He was absolutely amazing when it was all said and done. And it left everybody thinking, wow, I never have seen a guy who could just turn up the dial like that at will.
He threw 108 pitches in that game against the Blue Jays. Not a lot of strikeouts, as you might have noticed. Andy Dirks is 3 for 3 with a homer. No balls, 2 strikes, and those high strikeout games obviously do run up the pitch count. Normally, unless you can strike out a guy on 3 pitches. Doing a little pacing right now.
Being left alone and nothing surprising there.
Fouled into the seats. Layered over for a look at it. Nice Sunday crowd here watching. And they have watched the Tigers jump on the Astros with 2 in the first, 5 in the second, and then a 4th inning run. Along the way, they've hit 3 homers as they try to sweep a 4-game series on the road for the first time since May of '06 at Kansas City. Tigers have not been a very good road team this year. They're 8-7. That's okay, but before this series, obviously they brought that 5-7 road record in, and we're not playing nearly as well as they were at home, where they're 10-4. 1-2, but normally speaking, a team that's trying to win its division would be very happy with a 500 road record. Fly ball might be playable here in foul territory outside the left field line, but is not. Brandon Laird still 1-2. A happy fella.
Souvenir baseball can bring more smiles. Let's see, how do you throw the slider?
Moment of joy. That's all they'll remember about this game.
Just hoping she didn't have knockdown pitch on her mind.
If this is a no-hitter, they'll still remember that ball. Foul ball keeps the ball at 1-2. Bedard with a fly ball near the left field line, bringing Martinez over into the wall area, and that kicks foul off that wall. We'll have to make another 1-2 offering to Dirks.
I think a fan may have just gone Steve Bartman on that ball.
Yeah.
Check in with Moises Alou and see what he thinks.
Bobby Grossman's over in left center field on Dirks. Beats that one into the ground, fouling it. Tomorrow, an off day.
Don't you forget it.
Do you have any plans?
Not yet, but we'll get something going. Maybe a movie.
Have you seen 42 yet?
Haven't seen it.
Oh,
that has to be coming up for us soon.
Yeah, there was applause in the theater. It's
yeah?
good. Yeah. Don't see that much. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Could very well be some Mexican food in my future.
Okay.
How about you?
Well, I've seen 42, but I haven't had Mexican food, so so maybe half of your plan.
Sounds good.
In at least 2 days, which is kind of a long time, you know.
Keep plugging through.
You know, all these teams who come to Houston have to be looking for Mexican food.
Oh, they
right?
should be, absolutely.
That would be a part of the agenda.
Cajun food, another big item.
At number 42, Jackie Robinson. And you saw Mariano Rivera, who's the only player wearing that number, pitching against the Astros a few days ago.
Astros had a chance to get the great one, but for a line drive that Robinson Cano covering the bag at second with a runner going. I'm trying to remember now. Brandon Barnes was taken off, and it led into a double play. Otherwise, you know, the Astros had a shot in that one.
They did. Dirks takes the 2-out walk. That was Buzzard's luck. You know what? Barnes had a good jump. He represented the tying run, and because he was running, Cano was moving to cover the bag and caught that line drive. Here he is again. Miguel Cabrera. He's 0 for 2 with a walk, but hit a deep fly ball caught by Grossman just in front of the wall in left center in the first inning. But his significant contribution was with his glove and his arm on Laird's grounder in the 5th inning. So it might just be that he'll be known for that on this day rather than more hitting exploits. There's strike one. He is 7 for 15 in this series with 2 homers and 7 runs batted in, so his bat has certainly had an impact here. Leads the American League in total bases with 74. He's just doing everything exceptionally well in 2013. It's 1 ball, 1 strike.
By the way, touching back on Justin Verlander, last year through a full season, 9 times is what I count up, could be off by 1, but 9 times he won at least 120 pitches. He had other games 118-ish.
Okay.
His most pitches in a ball game 131, so he's comfy getting up in the high pitch counts.
You're right. 2-1. He's thrown 126 pitches in a game this year, and that was in 7 innings. That 2-0 loss we talked about at Seattle back on April 18th. So, you know, we talk so much about pitch counts, but he's one of those guys who can take more.
I think he's an anomaly in that regard.
Yeah. He led the league in complete games with 6 last year.
I'll tell you maybe what I think, maybe a little more accurately from my perspective. He's a guy that has been afforded the opportunity to pick up those pitch counts. I think there are some other guys who would say to their skip, hey, look, I'm not tired. I can go further. They're just not being allowed to.
The best tradition of Tiger pitchers, Denny McClain, Mickey Lolich, and others.
You think they ever were taken out for pitch count?
No. Line drive center field, and Grossman on the short hop picks it up, and that's a hit for Miguel Cabrera. Despite Grossman's best efforts, Cabrera is on with a single, his 47th hit of the year. Dirks goes to 3rd.
He hits line drives that just don't want to come down. And if you're going to come charging straight to the plate on a line drive and it lands in front, this is the best of outcomes. You better make sure you can find a way to keep the ball there.
That's hit number 9 for the Tigers. Prince Fielder has 2 of those, a 2-run homer and a 2-run single for Fielder. Batting average up to 300. That's ball 1 from Eric Bedard. Ash talked about how few times Bedard has pitched in relief in his career. Boy, that was just outstanding when he came in for 3 1/3 innings against the Rangers. 1 hit, no runs on opening day. There's a drive to center. Grossman backing, still going, turning, and making the catch. And it's no runs, 1 hit, 2 men left. So a second straight scoreless outing in this frame for Bedard, and it's 8-0. Things coming their way. First 10,000 fans got these Los Astros t-shirts on Cinco de Mayo here in downtown Houston. It is 8-0 Detroit. And through 5 for Justin Verlander. He has walked 2, struck out 7, has not allowed a hit. Got a spectacular play on Brandon Laird's ground ball by Miguel Cabrera. Threw him out from the seat of his pants. Now in inning number 6, it's Marwin Gonzalez to lead it off, the number 9 hitter, who has grounded out in the 3rd inning. Gonzalez trying to emerge from a long slump here. And there's strike 1 to Marwin. Marwin is 0 for his last 17. So a bad week this early in this season can really torch a batting average. Bounces this one. Fielder bobbles it. It gets behind him, and that's going to be an error on Prince Fielder. His first error of the year.
Really not all that difficult to play. That bounce coming up tied up Fielder a bit. I think he felt like it was going to be rather routine. Should have been.
It looked as if that ball came back towards second base on him a little bit.
Yeah, you'll get some of those bounces. He got that glove very deep on his chest.
Yeah. His body was kind of angled on that. And he just couldn't get the glove over in time. So now on the error, it's Robbie Grossman batting with the runner at first. He's not being held on by Fielder. Grossman's 0 for 2. Here's ball 1. Well, it was Marwin Gonzalez who broke up that Yu Darvish gem much earlier this season in that first series with the Rangers here. Darvish had a no-hitter with 2 outs in the 9th, and Marwin hit a sharp single back through the box for the first Astros hit, and in fact it spoiled a perfect game bit. 1 out away from the perfecto. Gonzalez broke it up. 2-0 to Grossman. 2 balls and a strike to Robbie. Just a special time for him, being a local guy, and as he made that first road trip going to historic ballparks, Fenway Park, Yankee Stadium not so much, new Yankee Stadium, but still. There's a shot, a liner caught by Fielder, and a double play.
Well, who knows where Fielder might have been playing defensively if not holding the runner right here, and he was right behind the runner. But you just never know how this works out. This game is so crazy. Just a line shot.
Yeah, good point. May have been positioned differently without the runner at first. And here again an indication, well, maybe this is one of those special days when things like that happen. And the play by Cabrera. Now Fernando Martinez with strike 1. He is struck out and flied to left.
And there was nothing base running wise that Marwin Gonzalez could do on that hot shot.
Yeah, they tell you break back toward the bag on a liner, but even that
ball was hit so sharply. Even if you were somehow miraculously breaking back to the bag, Fielder's going to beat you there.
Yes. So double play for the Tigers. The error by Fielder was only their 9th of the year. They lead the league in fielding percentage at .993. And the Tigers just have supported their pitchers extremely well. The pitchers also on that record strikeout pace, so it's worked very well for them to keep the ERA down to 3rd best in the league, but also the unearned runs. They've only allowed 7 unearned runs all year.
Well, this is going to get dicey for Verlander if he maintains this no-hit bid. 96 pitches now, not into the 7th yet.
2-2 on the big hook by Verlander. Walked Castro on 4 pitches in the first. Walked Pena on a 3-2 count in the 4th inning. And now he gets a strikeout. That's number 8. And after 6, Verlander continues a no-hit bid, leading 8-0.
This Tuesday, May 7th, is your chance to meet Justin Maxwell as part of our Lone Star Series showdown. Justin Maxwell will sign autographs for fans from 11 a.m. to noon at the Whataburger restaurant located at 340 Highway 6 in Sugar Land. While you're there, register to win tickets to see a game during the Astros series against the Rangers. Players subject to change, and autographs will be limited, guys.
Yeah, his hand apparently is healing pretty well from that broken bone from being hit by a pitch, so he may be ahead of schedule on returning to the Astros. Hopefully he'll get some good news from the latest x-rays coming up this week. Now 8-0. 8 runs on 9 hits, 1 error for Detroit. 0-0-0 for Houston. 7th inning begins, and Victor Martinez, the switch hitter, takes strike one, batting right-handed this time after going 0 for 3 left-handed against Philip Umber. The opening night relief performance by Eric Bedard was his first in relief since 04. As Ash mentioned, he's had very few relief outings in his career. 23,228 the paid attendance. Just a beautiful day. I promise not to say that again, Ash.
It is. I mean, it's every bit of that. Let's get home with a chance to see a little bit of this evening.
Okay.
Astros victory would be nice, but that's going to take some big time work.
That's going to put you home later.
Well, you can have a burst inning and make it happen.
Okay. 2 balls and a strike.
It's all up to the play-by-play guy.
Bedard rubbing up the baseball. Well, Bedard got the first save for Houston of 3 1/3 innings since 01. Kent Bottenfield did it when he got that save opening night here against Texas. Gets a swing and a miss there from Martinez. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and that gives the Astros a well-stocked bullpen with lefties now. Certainly, they have 4 as of right now. Well, one of them, Dallas Keuchel, might be entering the rotation later on this week. That would be pure speculation at this point. Rolled out to second. Gonzalez over to Pena. 1 out. Can't remember 4 lefties in the bullpen for a Houston club, can you?
I think it's rare for any major league team on any given year.
Wesley Wright, Dallas Keuchel, Travis Blackley, and Eric Bedard are the 4. Kelly is 0 for 2 with a walk. Soft fly ball off the end of the bat, and Grossman pursues it and slides for the catch. Good play by Robbie in center for out number 2.
I don't think Robbie anticipated he was going to have to slide at the end of this play. He might have gotten fooled a little bit.
You know, that's a difficult outfield today with those shadows. Combination of squares with the shadows and the sunlight out there for Robbie Grossman. Now here's Brian Pena. Pena takes ball 1. So a special thrill for Pena with the chance to catch a no-hitter today. He hit a 2-run homer as well in the second inning. He's 1 for 3.
Postseason was always the highlight for me. I'm sure it was for, or has been for, any player who's played the game. But as a catcher, catching a no-hitter right there.
Oh, yeah. You caught 3.
3 and had a couple of other chances. 1 out and 2 outs in the 9th inning.
2 balls and a strike.
Jason Varitek, the only modern-day catcher to have caught 4.
Okay. That's right. I was going to ask you about that.
One of my buddies, Jeff Torborg, a coach of mine a long time ago. Great guy. Caught 3.
He caught Koufax, right?
Yes, he did.
How many no-hitters did he catch from Koufax?
Well, he caught 1,
okay.
I believe. And I could be wrong on that, but I believe 1. He caught a Bill Singer no-hitter.
Okay.
And I'm not sure who his 3rd was.
No, I don't remember.
Nolan had 7 and only 1 for each catcher. 7 different catchers. I had him 1 out in the 9th inning one time. He shook me off with Mike Schmidt at the plate, and Schmidt got a little base hit.
Oh. Roller to short for Cedeno. Cedeno takes care of out number 3. 3 innings of shutout relief for Eric Bedard. That gets this game to the 7th inning stretch, and the fans will rise and sing God Bless America.
Tradition here at Minute Maid Park. We kindly ask now that you please rise and join us as we honor our great nation with the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Every single pitch that he throws, just as we promised earlier in the game. It's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite, showing you the game by Verlander. Some key plays. Here's a comebacker. He deflects it. Cedeno in the 3rd inning, leading off, tossed out by Verlander. And then the big one here, Cabrera diving to his left, gets Laird from a seated position. And then the line drive to fielder, double play hit by Bobby Grossman, doubling off Gonzalez in the 6th inning. He has struck out 8. He's thrown 98 pitches, 68 have been strikes. And now here is the 7th inning for Houston, with Jason Castro leading it off. He has walked and struck out swinging. Calls it back. There's strike 1.
The first pitch swinging. I'm just sitting here thinking about offensively. Is it okay? Is it within the framework of what you do in this kind of a scenario? Offensively, you just start taking pitches, trying to work a guy to 20 plus pitches in an inning. I would much rather see the swinging that we're seeing from Castro. But if you're trying to be able to get the guy out of the ball game and maybe get yourselves back in, maybe that's the ploy you take.
He's at 100 now. 5th time in 7 starts he's thrown 100 or more. 1-2, man. Typically his velocity actually gets, well, that said 101. I'm looking at one that says 94. That's 101 pitches. But the velocity was 94. He picks up miles per hour later in games typically. And he threw one upstairs and got a strikeout. That one at 94. 9 Ks.
Yeah, it could be he doesn't have the extra velocity in his ball today He's been up to 96 and 97, but nonetheless, good heater when he brings it up like this.
Carlos Pena has struck out and he's walked. Struck out on an 0-2 pitch and he walked on a 3-2 count. 102 pitches thrown by Verlander through 6 1/3 and a no-hitter underway. Strike to Pena.
That's not legal when you can throw that changeup along with the fastball he has.
Tiger pitchers have been on a strikeout binge this season. Popped up foul, and this is back out of play for an 0-2 count.
There's Pena also in this at bat, and wisely has chosen not to do it. Has had the bunt on the third base side given to him as a base hit.
Yeah.
But unwritten rules say you never do that to a guy with a no-hitter.
Yeah, they call that the code. One ball, 2 strikes. Wouldn't be prudent.
No, you'd be have a target all over you the rest of your career.
Yes. It's 2-2. With 9 strikeouts today, the Astros now have struck out 43 times in this 4-game series.
What does he come with? High fastball here or the changeup? Then he's got a curveball and sliders should he so choose. Got that shadow starting to become his friend.
It does get friendly to a pitcher.
Well, Charlie showed up.
He can be a most unwelcome guest to a hitter.
Can be that. You're looking at basically fastballs in this at bat, and then suddenly that thing comes out.
Would there be a more troublesome pitch for a hitter once that shade envelops home plate?
Wow, I don't know. The fastball can be awfully tough on its own.
Yeah. Line shot, and that breaks up the no-hitter. A single for Carlos Pena. Ends the no-hit bid for Verlander after 6 1/3. And he hit it over the shift, over Infante into right field.
Well, you never want to give up a cheapie, and this was anything but. You can't hit it harder than Carlos did. That was just best against best. High heat is what Verlander chose to come with.
And you got up to it.
Prince Fielder never did back up toward the bag at first. I thought they might even consider a throw in that direction.
Yeah. Strike 1 to Corporate. One hopper out to Don Kelly and right. That fielder did not go to the bag. Wouldn't that be something?
Hit the ball so sharply to right field, he get thrown out.
Yeah. Glenn Wilson would have been looking at first base.
Many a right fielder would have. I don't know if Don Kelly considered it, but he didn't have a target to throw to.
Jose Ortega gets up in the Detroit bullpen. And Darren Downs as well. 110 pitches now for Verlander. And Jim Leyland now has freedom to remove Verlander, should he so choose, without the threat of taking a guy out of a no-hitter in progress. Preston Gomez removed 2 pitchers who had no-hitters going through 8. But, you know, he was behind in the game. He pinch hit for them. Very controversial nonetheless.
Quite a challenge.
You bet. Managers cringe at that. Liner over third into left field. Corcoran with Pena taking the turn. makes it back-to-back singles. Brandon Laird comes up.
I imagine some people are thinking, well, right now is an ideal time for the skip to come out and take his right-hander out of the ballgame. But I would agree with what I think Jim Leland is going to do here, is let Verlander try for the next best thing today, which is 7 shutout innings. That's obviously what any pitcher would like to get, and leave it in his court.
Leland moving around in the bench there, and 2 men on with 1 out for Laird. Laird has struck out and hit that ground ball on which Cabrera made the spectacular play. 1-0 to Brandon Laird. Astros began the day 9th in runs scored in the American League. Foul ball makes it 1-1. Porter gets one up to a kid.
It's not just any kid. That's J.J. Watt.
Oh, well, that's different.
Slims down in the offseason a bit.
You don't think J.J. Watt could be elected to some office in Houston right now?
I think anyone he wants.
Marlins torched the Phillies 14-2 in Philadelphia. Kevin Slowey won that one over Roy Halladay. Broken bat roller to shortstop. Here's a quick flip and the turn. Infante, the middleman from Santiago, on a 6-4-3 double play to end the 7th and make it no runs, 2 hits and a man left for Houston. 8-0 Tigers. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. It's 8-0 Detroit. Justin Verlander had a no-hitter through 6 1/3. Struck out 9 in 7. He comes off the mound with a big 8-0 lead, having given up back-to-back singles to Pena and Corcoran, but then got a double play ball from Laird and lost that no-hitter, but still has had an outstanding day on the mound.
Yeah, you can smile. There's no question that this guy could go out there and give you a no-hit bid thrill just about every time he runs to the hill.
Omar Infante takes ball 1, leading off the 8th inning. Eric Bedard begins his 4th inning in relief of Philip Umber, who went 4. Infante 0 for 3. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Santiago's on deck. Verlander's had an outstanding day of it, lowering an ERA of 1.83 at game time. 2 balls, 1 strike. Some kind of start for Verlander with that 3-2 record, not indicative certainly of the way he has been pitching this year. High drive left field. It might go foul. It's hooking, and it does go foul.
Verlander leaves with an ERA of 1.55, so not a lot of worries going on for him.
No. Tried to body English. That 1.55 will get him in the top 2. Clay Buchholz leads at 1.01. There's a line shot that will make it out. A no-doubter by Infante. That's number 3 of the season for him, making it 9-0 Detroit. Omar Infante takes the tour. Home run number 4 of the day for the Tigers.
Well, we mentioned a bit earlier the home runs given up by Bedard on the season as he leaves this one up. That's his 8th already allowed. He's only at roughly 24 innings.
Ramon Santiago looks at that one, ball 1. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Tigers have had a field day in this series. 9 runs on 10 hits today. Oh, they've done a number, haven't they? 3 balls, no strikes. Combination of pitching and hitting, and generally good fielding as well. Pfister, Scherzer, Verlander. These last 3 games.
What they've done, they've gone about their business the way that people say you should. Beat the clubs that you should beat, and they've just come in here and played good baseball.
Porcello went 7, allowing 3 runs in game 1. Pfister 6 innings, 2 earned runs. Scherzer 8 innings, 1 run. Verlander 7 innings, no runs. So 4 quality starts from their 4 starters in this series. And Sanchez has not pitched. Jackson looks at strike 1. Jackson's 0 for 3 with a walk. His 9-game hitting streak is on the line. Travis Blackley's working now for the Astros in their pen. It's in for a strike, and it's 0-2. Blackley. The Astros have Ankiel, Cedeno, and Gonzalez due up in the bottom of the 8th. Red Sox and Rangers are tied 3-3, bottom of the 9th in Arlington, Texas. Foul back, still 0-2. Big Papi, David Ortiz, hit his 4th homer. Dan Ross, number 4. David Ross, rather, number 4. Nelson Cruz, his 7th for Texas, and Mitch Moreland, number 4 for them. Rangers are 19-11, and they'll be here next weekend. The Red Sox are 20-10. That's a good matchup of 2 of the good teams in the AL early in the season. Line drive goes into the seats. Padres are leading the Diamondbacks 5-1. They played 7 in San Diego. Didi Gregorius hit his 3rd home run for Arizona. Jed Jorko, number 2 for San Diego. And number 3 of the year for Will Venable. Tampa Bay Rays lead at Colorado 8-3. They're in the bottom of the 8th. Tulowitzki hit number 7, as did Kadire. Arenado hit his 3rd. A lazy foul ball, and that will be out of play. And Nolan Arenado was just called up to play 3rd base for the Rockies from the minor leagues. And he is one of their top prospects. He had a grand slam a few days ago. Now he's hit number 3 already.
Saw that grand slam. He got rather charged up, but then why not?
Absolutely. Dodgers and Giants play tonight in San Francisco. It's always a battle when those 2 teams hook up.
It's a rivalry people back east are not really aware of, but a big one.
They used to be aware of it when both clubs played in New York, but it's been a while, hasn't it? 1-2.
Let's see what year Did those clubs come out west?
They came
Separate
after
years.
the 58 season, I believe. That's a swing, and the ball pops away on a strikeout. That's out number 1.
1960 was the first game I ever saw.
60. Okay. Bo Porter's coming out. We go to Julia Morales.
Hey guys, MLB.com at Bat is the #1 source for live baseball everywhere you go. Available for iPhone, iPad, Android, and BlackBerry 10. At Bat delivers Astros baseball with live audio, pitch tracking, stats, news, highlights, and more. Text at Bat to 31826 or visit Astros.com for details.
Eric Bedard comes out of the game. Good relief work from Bedard, allowing just 1 run in his 3 1/3 innings. And here comes Travis Blackley. Tigers 9, Astros nothing. Back in a moment. (17-2), and they have really had a time of it here in Houston this weekend. The Astros go to pitcher number 3, Travis Blackley. The left-hander will take over after Eric Bedard went 3 1/3. Blackley has no decisions. His ERA is 3.86.
Done a nice job. Hits allowed, just 6 and 9 and a third innings, but the walks 6 kind of balance that out.
Andy Dirks is 3 for 3 with a walk, including a homer. He's driven in 2. He scored 3. Big day for Andy Dirks. And he hangs out a rope to right field. Dirks 4 for 4.
Big day just got bigger.
Boy, it did. On base all 5 times. Torrey Hunter had been hitting second.
Starter fastball right through the heart of the plate. Get the sense that the Tigers are just enjoying themselves with the sticks.
Banged out 11 hits. 4 of them long balls. Miguel Cabrera is 1 for 3 with a walk in this game. Two men on for Cabrera with 1 out. Strike 1.
There was a changeup and a weak swing by a guy who takes very few weak swings, and you wonder how much that shadow around home plate, ball coming out of the sunlight, combination of looks, because out in center field it's shadow as well. Much that might play, and inability to pick up the speed of the baseball.
Not a very good looking swing. Not Cabrera like. No balls, 2 strikes.
I like to think the hitters can see the pitches better than we were able to see the hitter right there.
Yeah.
In that shadow, it's pretty tough. It's a tough time of day to start a game, because it's inevitable you're going to wind up in this kind of situation.
Yeah. Robbie Grossman is just off the checkerboard out there in center field. Yeah, this 3:10 start, very unusual for the Astros. It's because of Cinco de Mayo and the street fest that occurred from 12 to 3. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So that does create those shadows.
Neither of us got to benefit from all the great food they had out there.
No. We'll have to catch up tomorrow. On 6 de Mayo, we'll have to work out something of our own, right?
I'm going to go for it hard myself.
Okay. What does one do on 6 de Mayo, Ash?
You know, one of those great questions I've never considered. Glad you brought it to my attention. I will pursue the possibilities this evening and jump on it tomorrow.
You know, in baseball, you have to celebrate on different days.
You do. I'll celebrate any day that is an off day after 17 consecutive games.
How about a nice big stuffed turkey?
A new tradition could come from that.
3-2 the count. Miguel Cabrera or Travis Blackley.
All the fixings as well, I guess.
Oh, you know it. Jalapenos. Prince Fielder's on deck.
Just gave me an idea for the next time we do the turkey. Little injection of the jalapeno juice.
Yeah. Supercharged turkey. Bouncer third. Laird goes to second. And then the relay by Marwin Gonzalez makes it a 5-4-3 double play. 1-run scores, 2 hits with a man left. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and it's 9-0 Tigers.
Fans, tune in Tuesday and root on your Astros against Josh Hamilton, Mike Trout, and the rest of the LA Angels of Anaheim. Coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. with Astros pregame live, followed by the game at 7. Astros Angels right here on Comcast Sportsnet.
On the Houston bench, where the Astros are looking to stir things up here with some hits, they will be facing a relief pitcher. Darren Downs comes in for the bottom of the 8th inning. With Detroit leading 9-0, and Detroit has the edge in runs in this series now, 37-8 in the 4-run series. Downs through 11 1/3 innings has allowed 8 hits and walked 4. Joaquin Benoit getting loose now, as the pinch hitter for Rick Ankiel will be Brandon Barnes. Ankiel was 0 for 2, a strikeout and a fly ball to right. Barnes carries a .327 batting average for 49 at bats. That includes 16 hits, 3 of them doubles, 1 a homer, and he's driven in 6. He is 1 for 1 as a pinch hitter. He'll be followed by Cedeno and Gonzalez. Bounce delivers, and it's ball one. For Justin Verlander, an excellent day, included 7 innings of work, 2 hits, no runs allowed, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts.
116 pitches, 80 were strikes. Just appeared to be in command all day.
Sure did. Barnes takes a look at that one, and it's 2-0. Barnes leads all major league rookies in batting average, 327 for a minimum of 20 games this year. Takes a cut at that one, and it's a 2-ball, 1-strike count for Brandon Barnes. Roy Halladay apparently is having some shoulder problems.
Something's not right.
Yeah.
When he's on his game, he is much better than he has been able to throw this year.
It's in for strike 2. It's a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Tiger bullpen has a 4.10 ERA. That one hit him. Barnes reaches as a pinch hitter, hit by the pitch. And Ronnie Cedeno will bat with a runner at first, nobody out. He's 0 for 2. It bounced, but that doesn't matter. He's still hit by the pitch. Wesley Wright's warming up for Houston. Joaquin Benoit for Detroit. Cedeno grounds it, hits the bag, pops up in the air, and Cabrera chases it out to left field. Barnes was thinking about going to third, but no, it's not a good time to take a risk. And Cedeno gets a hit.
A very casual approach there by Cabrera. Actually could have wound up with an error on this play. Watch what happens as the ball pops up here off the bag. Yeah, a little bit of showtime. I'm going to catch it here easily. Had the runner moved into third base, would you have been inclined to provide an error right there?
Well, it's a thought.
I don't know that he would have gotten one, but it was a possibility.
Now first and second for Marwin Gonzalez with nobody out. Marwin's 0 for 2. Trying to snap an 0 for 18 now. There's strike 1. Marwin swinging around to the right side where he is 5 for 11 for a 455 average this year. Robbie Grossman's on deck. In the air to shallow right field. Kelly comes in. 1 out. Robbie Grossman is 0 for 3. Worked the count full in the first and fly to center, and then grounded out in the third. Lined into a double play in the 6th inning. I'll be part of the Wandy Rodriguez trade coming from the Pittsburgh organization last year to Houston. He shoots one through the right side. Brandon Barnes gets a stop sign from Dave Tremblay, and the bases are loaded on the single by Grossman. That gives Robbie a 7-game hitting streak. Makes the off day a little more enjoyable coming up for him tomorrow.
Where do things stand for Robbie Grossman in the event that Justin Maxwell comes back anytime soon? Is Robbie relegated with that move back to the minor leagues? He's played pretty well. He hasn't torn it up by any stretch of the imagination, but he's played well.
Yeah, played well. Now bases loaded, and Chris Carter is a pinch hitter for Fernando Martinez, who was 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Carter is 2 for 5 in his career with the bases loaded. That's strike 1. Carter is hitting .209 for 110 at bats. He has 6 homers. He's driven in 14 runs. He has 1 RBI, no at bats as a pinch hitter. 1-1 the count. Carter is leading the American League in strikeouts with 50 and 110 at bats. Jason Castro's on deck. 1 ball, 2 strikes for Downs. Carter's 1 for 10 in this Detroit series. It's a 2 ball, 2 strike count for Darren Downs. Darren's from Southfield, Michigan. 28 years old, drafted by the Cubs in 03 in the 5th round. They traded him to Tampa Bay. Moved along to Florida. Tigers picked him up as a free agent in 11. Struck him out looking. 2 outs.
That's lower than the strike zone has been throughout the day today for Tim Welke. And so a surprising call with a big guy at the plate.
Two outs, and it's Castro next. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Pena's on deck. 9-0 here in the 8th. Detroit began the scoring with 2 in the 1st. Castro looks at a strike. It's the Orioles 8, the Angels 4. They're in the bottom of the 9th in Anaheim.
Come on, Jason, get him around.
No balls, 2 strikes. If the Angels don't rally, they will be 11-20. Manny Machado hit his 5th for the Orioles. J.J. Hardy also chiming in with number 5. The Birds are 18-13 under Buck Showalter in 2013.
Go!
Pops away, but not very far from Pena. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
A lot of people thought the Orioles might slip this year after a big year last year, but Showalter has the guys winning again.
Sure does. Who popped up in the rotation yesterday? Former Astro Freddie Garcia.
Yeah. A little minor league stint recently, earned his way back to the bigs. Sure, they wouldn't mind having Jeremy Guthrie back, who's been pitching great ball for Kansas City.
17 straight games without a loss for Guthrie, a new club record for Kansas City. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Castro now. 2-2 to Jason. Barnes is the 3rd with Cedeno at 2nd and Grossman at 1st. Foul ball into the Astros dugout.
I wonder if that's the case with Guthrie, as you mentioned, that of Pitchers Park versus Hitters Park. Baltimore Hitters Park, and he had his struggles, gave up a ton of home runs. Goes to Kansas City, Pitchers Ballpark, and everything is turned around as if he's pitching in the Grand Canyon suddenly.
Right, and got out of Coors Field, so it would seem that the evidence indicates that what you're saying is a very valid point. Foul back.
That's right, he went from Baltimore to the Rocks.
And just had a terrible time getting outs in Colorado, and joined the crowd on that. But yeah, it's been an amazing turnaround for him in Kansas City, and a very good pickup by the Royals.
Guy who can go mid-90s with the fastball. It just wasn't translating elsewhere.
There are those who say the Rockies are going to crater this year too with their pitching if they don't do something about bolstering their staff.
Well, if their offense continues to be better than other offenses, then they've proven that they can win there.
It's been weird, hasn't it, for them to try to put a team together because they're one team at home and another team on the road.
That's a club that has totally skewed offensive numbers at home and road.
Just
the thing is, the pitchers tend to carry some of the problems on their backs, it seems, once they do go on the road.
Right. Castro fouls it.
Mike Hampton was a great example. When he went there, took his positive mentality, he started to win right away, and then it slid. It went the other direction, and when it did, it went full force.
Yeah. Darryl Kyle had a rough time there, didn't he?
Obviously a difficult place, to say the very least, to pitch.
Castro strikes out. That ends the Astros 8th inning. No runs, 2 hits, 3 men stranded. We move to the 9th. It's 9-0 Tigers. Changes for Bo Porter's Houston Astros. Chris Carter stays in the game. He is in left field. He replaced Fernando Martinez. And Brandon Barnes stays in the game as well. He moves to right field after pinch hitting for Rick Ankiel. And it's Wesley Wright on the mound. He has an ERA of 2.57 for his first 14 innings. Fielder, the first man to face him. He has hit a 2-run homer in the first and a 2-run single in the second, and a 2-for-4 day. Wesley Wright is tied for second in appearances in the American League with 15, tied with his teammate Hector Ambrose. And a very busy year for the Houston bullpen. There's strike one for Wesley. Wesley pitched, and everybody in the Houston bullpen pitched Thursday night in the 14-inning game. Gave up 1 hit and 1 unearned run in that game. Did not retire a batter, as he hit Prince Fielder in the 8th inning, and now faces him here again in the 9th with a 1-1 count. Infield shifted around. It's 1-2. Just checking on Darryl Kyle in Colorado. Ash, he pitched there in '98 and '99.
2 full years.
Jose Ortega warming up for Detroit. In '98, he was 13-17 with a 5.20 ERA. Little chop goes foul. And in '99, he was 8-13 with a 6.61 ERA.
Well, that winning record the first year there says he probably pitched a lot better than that ERA might tell you.
Well, he was 13-17.
Oh, 13-17.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I misheard.
That's all right. But he pitched 231 innings, so he did give that club a lot of work.
That is a lot of work.
And Darryl would do that.
I thought that Larry Dirker was as positive an influence on the careers of Mike Hampton and Darryl Kyle as anybody could possibly be for a pitcher.
Yep. Liner to right. That's in for a hit for Fielder. Barnes over to get it back into the infield, and Fielder gets his third knock of the day.
And it was really the reverse of what goes on around professional baseball today. It was we're not taking you out early. You're going to stay. We don't want you for 6 innings. We want you for 7, 8, 9 innings. And even at times late in a tight ball game, didn't pinch hit for those guys.
Exactly. Matt Tuiasosopo is the pinch runner here for Prince Fielder. Detroit fans applauding Fielder from behind their dugout as he comes off the field after a 3-for-5 day. Tuiasosopo the pinch runner, and it's Victor Martinez the batter. He's 0 for 4. Yeah, Larry had a very big impact on those pitchers he talked about. There's a shot off the glove of a diving Laird into left field. At least I think he got his glove on it. And it's first and second on the single by Martinez. 4-game hitting streak for him now with nobody out. Let's see if he did.
Sharply hit ball. Might have gotten some leather on that.
Maybe. You know, that's got to be tough for the fielders, as you pointed out, with that ball coming out of the shade. And just tough to track it right off the bat. Don Kelly is 0 for 3 with a walk. Now Larry Dirker would meet with his pitchers at some point early in the season or spring training, and he would say to his starting pitchers, and Jose Lima really benefited from him too.
Right, he's another.
Yeah. And he'd say, guys, if you're behind by a run in the 6th inning and you're on deck, don't be looking over to the bench to see who's hitting for you, because nobody will be pinch hitting for you. It's your game. No balls, 2 strikes.
You know, I try to take that back to pitchers back in earlier days, and maybe you can even talk 60s, 70s in this regard. Guys who went the distance in a ball game, and it seems like, and maybe it's just a misperception, that those arms stayed healthier.
Well, they certainly did. 1 and 2.
Now it's a carousel to surgery, is what it seems to be.
Yeah, times have changed, haven't they? Boy, the Astros have seen some top-notch arms in this stretch of games. 17 straight now. The day off comes tomorrow, and they've seen Clay Buchholz at his best, Verlander and Scherzer. And
that's a very good point. It's been some tough pitching.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
This entire series, you face the Tigers while that staff is healthy, and they stay healthy most of the time. You're going to face great pitching.
Yeah. High drive to right field. Barnes coming over in position to throw back, and he does on out number 1. He was just a well-schooled outfielder. Gets himself in a nice position to make the throw.
Rather see him not lob the ball back in as he did here. He was set to throw and really cut it loose, and then when he saw the runner not going from second base, or at least giving that appearance, he lobbed it back in. Sometimes you can get yourself deked on that play.
Brian Pena hit a 2-run homer in the 2nd. He's 1 for 4. Now Dempster pitched well against the Astros at Boston. Struck out 10 in 6 innings. John Lackey had a good start.
Yeah, I'll bet in terms of that series, the Lackey start probably meant as much to John Farrell and staff as anything. Guy that's been injured a lot and certainly had his struggles a year ago.
Hiroki Kuroda, 7 shutout innings Tuesday, and the Yankees win over the Astros. Fly ball. Barnes coming in right with that catch. 2 outs. And then this series. Well, they've all been good. Now let's look ahead to the Angels starting Tuesday night, and then the Rangers next weekend. Those are the home games remaining, and of course all the games right here on this channel, and then on the road for Detroit and Pittsburgh on the next road trip.
Pirates playing a lot better baseball than people anticipated.
Yeah, they might make a run this year.
Well, you mentioned it the other day. last 2 years, really good first halves for the Pirates, but they just haven't been able to keep it together.
No, they have not. Infante, who homered in the 8th inning, is 1 for 4. There's ball 1 to him. But if A.J. Burnett can stay strong this year, that will really help their cause.
The tatted one.
And of course, Wandy Rodriguez. Fly ball to right. Brandon Barnes back for this one. And he catches 3 fly balls here in the 9th inning. It's no runs, 2 hits, 2 men left. We go to the last of the 9th on Sombrero Day. 9-0 Tigers. Through 8 on 4 hits, all of them singles, and they didn't get a hit until 1 out in the 7th inning with Justin Verlander pressing his case for a no-hitter. It was broken up by Carlos Pena. He'll lead it off here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Pena's single was then followed by a hit by Carlos Corporan. And in the 8th inning, the Astros got 2 more singles and a hit batsman. They had the bases loaded, 1 out. But then Darren Downs struck out Carter and Castro. Now Tuiasosopo stays in to play first base after pinch running for Fielder. And the Astros come up trying to avoid being shut out for the 4th time this season. Pena has walked and singled. And the Tigers trying to tuck away a 4-game series sweep on the road to go 19-11 in their first 30 games. They would be enjoying their day off tomorrow in Washington, D.C. Certainly after this series, the infield shifted around. Pena calls time.
Yeah, they've simply gotten business done here.
There's strike 1 to Pena. Tigers have struck out 45 Astros in the 4-game series so far. Jim Leyland's club will be facing Houston on that next upcoming road trip for the Astros next week, as we showed you. The Astros, meanwhile, trying to avoid a 6-game losing streak, and would try to turn that around against the Angels Tuesday night. Strike makes it 0-2. We don't know how close J.D. Martinez is to returning from the disabled list. He's had several games on his injury rehab assignment in the minor leagues. He's played in 4 games at Corpus Christi. He's gone 3 for 15. One ball, 2 strikes. It'll be Jordan Lyles and C.J. Wilson Tuesday night at 7:10 with the Angels in town. Bud Norris and Joe Blanton Wednesday night. Lucas Harrell and Jason Vargas Thursday night. Bud pitched such a good game in beating the Angels on the road on that first trip. That's a strikeout, and that's out number 1. 3 strikeouts in a row for Downs. Trying to get a combined shutout with Verlander going the first 7.
Well, we've talked about the average of 10 strikeouts right on the money per game coming into play today for Astros hitters, and now 12 on the afternoon. They certainly don't help in that category.
Corcoran singled in the 7th inning. He's 1 for 3. Strike 1. Astros trying to avoid falling to 4-12 at home. They're 4-12 on the road. Foul ball comes back, and it's no balls, 2 strikes. Cabrera's had a big series. One hit today and 1 walk. So that gives him 8 hits in the 4-game series, including 2 homers and 7 runs batted in this series. 1-2 to Corp. Nice day for the families to be out in the sun. Time called it. A 1-2 count for Carlos Corcoran. Got his rally cap going.
How's it working out?
Not so well. Fly ball goes into the seats. 1-2. When did this rally cap thing get started anyway? Do you remember?
I don't, but I don't know. I've never seen a football player wear his helmet upside down.
No.
Or shoulder pads inverted somehow. It seems to be unique to baseball.
Kind of hard to wear those helmets backwards also, unless you don't have a nose. Brandon Laird's on deck. Corcoran strikes out. A whole lot of K's on the scorecard in this series. Verlander struck out 9, and that's 4 now for Downs.
There are some pitchers where you can understand strikeouts mounting. There are other times, and you're talking about Darren Downs and others. Just you don't anticipate this. Downs, however, is striking out well over a man an inning on the season.
He fits right into this staff, doesn't he? Brandon Laird's 0 for 3. Out toward left center field. On the run, here's Jackson. And Jackson reaches out and snags it. What a play for the final out of this game, as Laird really hit it well. But the Tigers win in a shutout, 9-0, and here's the way it ends.
Dig and get to it and just barely get there. What a play. We talked about Darren Jackson earlier in the series. He can flat roam the haven.
Big time play by Jackson in center. Final score, Tigers 9, Astros 0.